Yo, what is up, guys? I'm here with Aaron Marshall from Intervals. There we go. I got there. How are
That's
you,
me.
bro?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I gotta
Fuck
say,
yeah.
your setup looks so sick. Your gear beats my three guitars up real bad. It looks
But you
super
got the
legit.
vibe lighting and the keychain though.
I do have the vibe
So
lighting.
I got the doctor's office
I think it looks
vibe.
good. We can see
I'm
you
gonna
well.
I'm gonna vibe it out in here soon. I ordered a new desk and stuff, so I'm just waiting for that and then I'm gonna get the vibe lighting right.
Is that a new spot for you?
Nah, I've been here for a minute.
Okay.
I just because I wrote the record staring at this wall, it's time to write more things staring at that wall with a different, I'm gonna sit stand desk and gonna change it up the feng shui, you know
You
what I
know, it's
mean?
funny you say that, but so I went to the beach with my job like I guess a couple weeks ago, and I took my
Okay.
guitar and an amp
Okay.
to like play at the beach. I loved it. I really enjoy a
What
different
amp do you have that you can run at the beach?
bro. I'll get into
What do
that
you
later.
got?
I'll get into that later.
Oh
Well,
shit, he's got a rig.
I do got that.
He's gonna
You know about this rig. It's a Canadian
get
riv.
the beach rig. Oh, but yeah, okay, I know about the rig, but how do you power it?
I mean, it was like at a beach house on the beach. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I was picturing you like legit
Just in the
on the
sand.
beach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got a Jenny or something? How are you doing that?
But I was gonna say, I feel like changing your perspective changes
Oh,
your playing perspective too.
it's everything, dude.
Yeah.
It's something that lockdown was like really hard on me for because I just only could exist in this one space. Was going nuts trying to make an album just with no like variety or variation. So I'm big on that. Like I play different when I'm just like chilling at a friend's place. I play different in the bus versus the green room.
Yep. Different on
You know what I mean?
stage.
There's a lot more adrenaline there. So yeah. I talked to Wes about this, Wes Hauk,
Oh,
a few weeks back.
yeah.
And he was talking about how he starts his day off like in a different room of the house with the guitar, just playing hella slow and getting some little things kind of dialed in, and then moves to another room. And then until he like warms up in varying rates until he makes his way to the shed room. And then it's full tilt working on music, whatever, like guns blazing. But he starts upstairs in the sunlight in a different room, get it dialed real slow. Yeah,
What an
man, that's what
actual psycho, bro.
yeah, but
You know what though?
it makes so much
It
sense.
does. It's good to hear that he does pretty wild stuff because he's been such a crazy guitar player for so long that like
I love that guy.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, just what a
Because
legend.
I don't
But
think I can just cope with the fact that he's just that good for no reason. Like I want to know that he does some wild warm ups and
yeah, dude,
yeah.
he's no, he's got it really dialed. Um, so I feel the same way about
Yeah.
that, But I mean, it could be a lot worse. It could be, could
Yeah.
have none of this, and have to figure it out, and I would, but nice to at least I'm just working with what I got, but yeah, it's
Right.
time to switch it up. Made a record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do
So
this every album, so change it up.
really, okay, that's cool. That's good to hear. For those watching, I did hear the record before this, and I'm excited. It's
Hell
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
All I will
Appreciate it.
say about the record is it has one of my favorite all-time songs already.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to tell me after which one that
Yeah. I'll
is.
tell you
Or you
after.
can give me a track number if you or no, we'll talk about it later,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. We'll
doesn't
talk.
matter.
I don't want to spoil too much, but there is my
Sick.
favorite of all times is on
I'm
that.
hoping I think I might know which one it is, and if I'm correct, then it could be the next single out, but
Oh,
we'll
okay.
see.
All right.
We'll see.
So yeah, let's talk about like I usually just use the beginning as like a catch up. Like it's been a while since I've seen you.
I saw you
Obviously.
at NAM.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you've probably seen me at the same time everyone else saw me, I guess.
I saw you at NAM.
We hung a lot during those days, actually. A good bit.
Yeah, and uh it's funny because whenever we're both on tour, people always mix us up,
Yeah, I
even
think
though
we're
we've
finally fraying away from each
a
other.
little bit, yeah, a little bit. It's funny though because Sean is responsible for one of my favorite posts of all time. I can't remember what tour. You know exactly which one I'm fucking talking about too.
I think
I
so. Yeah.
I'm I can't remember what tour we were on, but I get fucking what happened? It was like, no, I wasn't tagged in it. It was like
Okay,
I got tagged in it later. You posted a photo of me and Nathan,
as me and
and
Alex.
yes, and you didn't. That's right. You didn't tag us. You posted it as if it was just the two of you.
Yep.
And then later you ripped on all of your close personal friends for like weighing in and be like, sick photo or like show look cool or whatever. And you were just like, motherfuckers,
I was
that's
like,
not
this is
even me and
not me,
Alex.
bro. It's funny because
It's
Nathan kind of looks like Alex in that. That's why I specifically use
yes.
that one. And the
Yes,
caption, if you reread the caption, it's like, here's a photo of me and Alex. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is completely normal. Like,
it was so fucking funny.
it
And then I
did.
showed Nathan was fucking dying laughing because it was so good. It was
It's
legitimately a photo of
it
the two of us.
started a bit of a thing for sure. Even when I
Yeah, and
announced this podcast, people were like, "Why are you going to talk to yourself?"
I was
And it,
waiting for
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
waiting. Yeah, I didn't get it on my end, but I guess people
Wow.
weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
But it's really funny. And that's cool. And I love your band, and I'm
Ah,
excited for more new music. That new single with the video was insane.
thank you. There's more to
Yeah,
come.
big Era fan. So fuck yeah,
Yeah, thanks, dude.
of
I've been a
course.
huge fan of intervals. Actually, I've always been meaning to tell you this story.
Oh boy,
When I joined Era, I was the bass player.
I know this.
Yeah, and then I heard the song Epiphany,
Uh,
and I was like, God, that song rips. What the hell? So I learned it on guitar, even though my guitar skills were not up to par yet. But I was playing bass in the band. I didn't even like own a legit guitar. I had to like go find my old electronic guitar, like electric guitar, electronic, like set it up to even be playable. And I learned that song over the course of like a week, and that showed my band that I like could play guitar.
with that song,
That song,
God
dude.
damn,
It's just
bro,
that ending. That I just love that like transitional. Yeah.
sick.
So I guess I
Um,
play guitar in my band because of you. It's probably your fault.
uh, wow, massive accolade.
Yeah.
Um, that's cool, man. I can't remember. Surely the first time we met was not in Birmingham at that show.
I think it
The
was
one
when I
upstairs,
took you
at
out
the
to
one
Euros.
upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no no
Yeah.
no no. You mean
We met
so
before
we didn't
that.
meet the Plintervals tour or whatever it was.
Yeah, well, that's what that was. That was the Shape of Color tour. And we played upstairs, and I remember it was a shit show that day because we got in late and my guitar boat had cracked in the trailer. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
My
you were
I
stressed that day.
tripping.
I
Yeah,
f-
because I mean my guitars were just exposed in the fucking
yeah.
trailer.
And then I was like,
And then
bro, you're playing on top of a Pizza
here,
Hut in Birmingham. I don't think I would worry about it too hard.
oh, I'd rather be at Zydeco. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh man.
You guys sounded
So
phenomenal that night though.
I do remember that show. I remember watching some. Well, I was headlining, so it was obviously before my set, but I think we watched somebody maybe Save Us from the Archon from like the bar because
Yep.
like you could like climb up and like stand near the bar.
Yep.
I remember that. Yeah.
No, I think
That
we
would have
might have just met. I think you just came out to a Toronto show when we were like supporting ABR or something.
that too.
Yeah.
That too. Okay, yeah. So I was just trying to think about when we would have hung out on tour though. So
Yeah.
that's cool. And we always seem to connect. And then we were talking before the podcast about, was it Atlanta? You guys came to the Atlanta show and we all went out for
Oh yeah, best. Yeah, such a good night. It was,
many
and I talk
beers
about
and
that tour all the
that's good.
time because it was a 2 band tour package,
Yep.
which is
Contortionist and
which is
intervals.
every band's dream.
It
It's
was
like,
so fucking sick.
yeah,
We played like an hour plus music.
yeah. I talked to
And then
Robbie.
Contortionist played 2 sets.
So crazy, dude.
It was so sick. That was
Yeah,
such a fun tour.
it was. It was so sick. I
And that was
loved
at
that
the
night.
Variety Playhouse in
Yeah,
Atlanta, right?
yeah. A
Yeah.
venue I had never heard of before, but really liked.
Yeah, it's like an old theater.
Yeah.
Good vibe. That was cool. I love Atlanta.
Which, social distancing concerts, that venue style might come back. You know what I mean?
Whoa, the seated theater vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even willing to entertain the concept
I know, I
of
hate it. Especially like the heavier you like in genres you get. Like we don't want people sitting 6 feet
it's
apart at tables.
it's not even that. It's just what is that deal memo going to look like?
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
making anything on that show? It's and of course touring and the show is not about the money first and foremost. But when you do it 30 nights in a row
No, yeah.
and
Well, you have
you're
to sustain
completely
yourself.
independent out of pocket with 9 employees in a bus, you
Yeah.
ain't doing the show
Yeah. I'm
when
not
you can
paying
only
you to
have
play music for you. Sorry.
it's just
That's
the
just not
concept
gonna.
is just and even when it's all safe and everything can be full capacity and stuff, everybody took such a shit kicking from this that it's still going to be we're still all going to be behind the 8 ball getting started again. I
Yeah.
think there's unfortunately a rude awakening coming from some of the like lower tier touring bands who think that, oh, we made it through this weird time, let's get on the
Let's
road.
just get
I
back
mean,
at it. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you thought getting in a van and doing it for whatever you were doing it for before was and I mean, I'm not talking down to anybody, I'm just being real, because we've even thought about it, like for a mid to upper mid tier band touring in a bus with a full crew, what does that even feel like for us?
Right.
Like, and we were hitting our freaking stride, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's so frustrating about this whole scenario is like
Yeah.
we were we were just going,
I feel the
you know.
exact same way, bro. We felt in a like with we just announced the single, we signed to a new label, we were doing a fresh thing, we felt on top of the world, and now we just feel knocked on our ass like every other one else. And
It'll come back. It's going to be fun. You guys are in a good position.
yeah.
I feel like a lot the bands that are adapting and being smart and the bands that have some infrastructure and a dedicated following, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's just like there was a whole ecosystem in place for like 200 cat bands that live in their van all year long, where like I'm like now it's like even after things pick up again and like and society can be inoculated and everything, like with the vaccine and stuff, like it's still going around. You really gonna go into a crowd and then get into a van with your every night? You're putting yourself at risk.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the bus is still. I mean, we're all breathing the same air, so it's like, what does this look like? When does anyway? We're not doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're not doing this on the podcast
Yeah.
because
3 hours later.
no,
Yeah.
no, because everybody's tuned into enough podcasts where it just descends into this, and it's like I'm a lot more hopeful than I really am. Not that pessimistic about it. I have a good feeling about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when. So, but crazy. What a crazy time. I mean, I just saw you at NAM in
It
January.
does feel
Just
like you just saw me. Yeah. This
I
year.
I swear I
Yeah.
swear
Yeah.
I just saw you.
Yeah.
And like
Well.
we're in the biggest convention where everyone is all over each other, and it was at the party. Like,
Yeah.
it was at the party because the data shows that it had already made its way to this part of the planet, which is just so crazy to me. I remember thinking like, okay, we had NAM, right? And then the next like biggest convention that was like on my radar, just because like I sometimes, when I'm not doing music, I try to get into other things and watch other things and like,
Okay. That's cool.
try to not always be thinking about music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the time, gyms were open, and I was a lot more dialed in than the sad, sorry state of things now with the gym being taken away. But I was really, really watching a lot of powerlifting because it's
Okay.
fascinating to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
and and I was like, okay, yeah, I want to see all these guys break these crazy world records. I wanted to see Hafthor Bjornsson lift a gajillion pounds off the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's exciting. And it was at the Arnold Classic in Ohio, and that was like April or something.
So like right when the shit hit the
Yeah,
fan.
and it was like it was still happening. Like people were like fitness people were flying to Ohio. Everything was like, and then they pulled the plug on it like last minute. It was like, no, it can't fucking happen. And then that's when I realized, okay, large mass gatherings are done.
Yeah.
And then is what it is. Anyway, I said we weren't going to do this, so we're not going to do this. Let's
Yeah.
not do
Yeah.
this.
So let's talk about the fact, like, was this record coming out that you've been working on, was that the entire quarantine for you? Is that all you've been pouring your heart into? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started writing as soon as I got back from NAM.
Okay, so you were already planning on putting an album out.
We were planning on pausing touring for 2020 to
Well, that's good.
record a record.
That's very good.
Yes, because I know people that were on tour. I'm sure you do. when the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
And that's
We
not a position you want
we
to be
were
in.
kind of unlucky in the sense that we did it right before everything stopped. So we like took time off before we had to take time off, you know?
Oh, so then
Yeah.
you were gearing up.
Yeah. Um
Oh,
but then like I guess I was just already like doing my time off things, like working my coffee job, and so I guess it wasn't the
you
worst
were already in
transition.
the mix with
Yeah.
the lifestyle. Yeah, so we planned for it.
But that's good. I mean,
And
if you plan for the break and you're forced to take the break, you're not in the worst
yeah, but
position.
we work fast though. I'm supposed to be
Right.
going on tour next month and starting a very long cycle that has us in North America for 6 weeks before this year ends, and then in Europe February, March of next year, and then other places.
Yeah, when you guys
And
hit it, you hit it so hard. Like you usually do
we
like a
go.
world tour stretch type vibe.
The last two albums we've essentially done that. The last records, like the last touring cycle was like 2.5 years, which is like kind of nuts.
Yeah, it is really wild.
But the album continued to just grow
I
legs.
mean, that's an album cycle, but I don't know if I just hit it for 2 years straight hard.
I mean, we had some little like some months, like couple months here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but we were booked. We were booked solid, and
What's
we
funny
did.
is hearing that now sounds insane.
It sounds insane.
Yeah.
But we did few laps around North America, a couple laps around Europe, Southeast Asia, Australia, Japan, New Zealand, South Africa, Mexico.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything except
World.
South America and
Yeah.
like Russia and a few other regions. But we did most of it, it being the planet.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The world.
And we did India. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, yeah. I've heard we got an offer for that. I guess.
Festival?
Yeah.
Yeah, it slaps if it's the same. I mean, they're all
I
gonna
think
slap
yeah, yeah.
guaranteed
It
out
was
there,
like the
but
one we like turned it down right before Contortionist did it. And then
NH7. That's the one we did.
and then we
Yeah,
saw videos
it's-
from their show. We were like, "What did we do?"
Dude, Steve Aoki's video guy did our like video wall and light show at our, and it was us in Carnival.
That's sick.
It was fucking insane.
Yeah, it's
it
so
was
sick.
insane.
What was attendance?
One of my favorite things we've ever done.
Because the attendance was insane, right?
12 or 13,000 on a
So
mountain
stupid.
for instrumental music. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was on the Bangladesh, India, China border scenario in a region called Meghalaya, and the closest airport was 4 hours by car. So you had to drive in like tiny little taxi cabs, like Mad Max style up a mountain for 4 hours.
Whoa.
And it was like crazy elevation.
See, I think I'm
and
just
it
jealous
was
of that
nuts.
experience anyway. Like, because that's
I
kind of
trade you for the sleep you had at that time.
That's fair.
But
I get that.
it was bonkers though. We did Mumbai, the festival in Meghalaya, we did Delhi, and we did Bangalore. So we did 4 shows, and then we went right into the BT Bam Sean tour.
Okay.
It was sick.
Yeah.
Really good.
Dude, like you said, everything will normalize at some point, and
yeah, we'll be back to doing what we love. We'll just be a little bit older than we were the last time we did it.
Yeah. And you're putting out somehow better music than you ever have still, so you're gonna be crushing it, bro.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I was a little nervous about it. I think I would have made this record, with the same vigor regardless.
Do you
there's probably
feel
some sort of
Do you feel like because of quarantine you could take your time a little bit?
Yeah, but there's a point of diminishing returns.
There's a bittersweetness to that. Like you might overthink it.
Of your time.
Yeah.
Not over. Well, I'm constantly overthinking. So I'm just
yeah.
That part's a given. But it was more so like knowing that if you didn't write the greatest riff of all time on Monday, that even if you didn't do it the next Monday, there's still the following Monday.
Yeah.
And that that's okay for a while until your manager checks in and goes, you're in the studio in 5 weeks, right? And you go, oh, the greatest riff of all time is still not on the record. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So not that I'm aiming to write the greatest riff of all time. It's just a metaphor. But you know what I mean? It's like you have all this time until you have no time.
Yeah, but then like even I feel like there's like really beautiful albums and material coming out from this quarantine because like
Yeah,
musicians are being forced to just like look internally or reevaluate their music, stuff, just random stuff like that. But even we
sure.
recorded before we were forced into quarantine, so our mixing process was so much easier than it ever has been because
Oh,
because we didn't have to like we have to get this mix settled by like next month, otherwise, you know what I mean. There was none of that this time.
right.
Um,
That's good. Yeah.
yes,
I mean, we
which
chose.
our
Go ahead.
mixing is always a task for us, which we are a very fast-paced, complex, progressive metalcore bit. Like it's just there's a lot going
Well,
on always.
there's
It's
also a lot of distinct opinions in that band.
yeah,
So, I mean, I hear you. For me, it's like it was easier this time because we mixed with the same producer that co-produced and engineered, which is the first time I've actually done an all-in since like In Time and AVW.
okay.
Um, so the last two records were engineered by Cam McClellan from Protest the Hero and then outsourced for mixing. Anthony Calabretta did The Shape of Color, and then Simon Grove did The Way Forward. And like just to use The Way Forward as an example, I got the first handful of mixes on tour. We were doing a cross Canada co-headliner with Northlane summer
I
2017.
remember
I
that.
was
Yep.
in sick tour. And I was in Regina and I got the first batch of mixes and I'm sitting in the bus and I'm like, ooh,
It's
I
such a
got
shitty feeling, dude.
got a lot of notes to make.
Yeah,
And that's not a slight at Simon
yeah,
because I mean the way forward is amazing and Simon's a fucking legend, but this is true for any engineer who has to mix a record they didn't engineer themselves. Um, unless there's detailed like, you know, paint by numbers scenario happening with some of these tracks and how they're meant to be, you're going to get revisions. It is the way it's going to be. So I wrote like stacks of notes, man.
yeah.
It was just like it was unbelievable. And then um, he was picking them off a little bit. Didn't help that he's in Australia, so it's like leaving a note under a rock. And then
Yeah,
tomorrow you
yeah,
can,
yeah,
you know what I mean? The time
yeah,
zone thing, and I'm on tour and he's in Australia. And then he was getting ready to do a tour with Plenty. But luckily we were converging together at a camp in upstate New York. We did a Plintervals camp for a week. It was like one of those educational retreats. So we
yeah,
knew
yeah.
we were meeting up. So we're like, okay, cool. We'll get a bunch of these notes like when we're chilling at night in the cabins and stuff, which we did, but we didn't finish it all. So
It
I went
helped
home
a
to
lot, though.
Toronto.
Yeah,
It definitely helped kickstart the process. They went on to New York City. They had an Airbnb for a few days. They're going to do some rehearsals. The rest of their people were coming in and they're getting ready for a tour. And I went to Toronto with Randy and we were preparing all of the content for the way forward. And then like we finished everything, like all the photo and video and stuff that we could possibly do in Toronto. And then we were like, you want to just get a car and drive to New York City and hang with the boys? And we got a rental car, drove from Toronto to Brooklyn, and then crashed on the floor in Plenty's like Airbnb dungeon scenario that was happening in Brooklyn. And Simon and I finished mixing the record on a headphone splitter. We did like
whoa.
4 a.m. nights on a laptop
You
with
know
a
what
headphone
though? There's
splitter.
no better scenario there.
We did it,
Like
and it
when
ended
you
up
can
being
talk to your engineer or producer or whatever
yeah, of course, and
in
that's
real
and that's
time
what
with them. Like
yes,
I don't think there's
yes,
any better scenario
which
there.
is why this one came together so easy was
Yeah.
because yeah, because we already had so much baked in to the recording process. But Sam's here in Toronto, so I got the mixes. I chilled out in my space, cans, monitors, AirPods, drive test, everything, and made notes, and then went in and verbally sat there with him and tweaked everything in the room. Had a pair of headphones in our lap so we could get reverbs and delay tails right and everything. We did it properly,
Yeah.
and it's a lot more concise this time as a result, I think. So many of the moves that were in my head that I was trying to achieve in pre-production and during the recording were like baked in. You know what I mean? So we were just like tweaking stuff and just trying to make it feel a little bit better. It wasn't like, oh my God, this whole section needs so much work, like, and then just blowing all of your mental bandwidth on that. It was a lot nicer. So
Ear
yeah.
exhaustion is always my main thing with mixing too. It's like
Yeah, the fatigue part is, I mean, luckily I feel blessed to have been like I've always worked with people that like handle that part. I'm not weighing in so much. Like every once in a while I might ask for something to be a little bit darker, or maybe like we'll tweak a filter or something, but like the overall vibe, I trust the mix engineer to do the things that they need to do to get everything coexisting. And unless something really stands out, I don't really need to weigh in on that stuff. For me, it's more so about how something behaves in the stereo field.
Okay.
So it's like imaging. So it's like where something exists,
Yeah.
how it exists, cutting up phrases to like move them around, whether it's panning or like filtering a moment here and there. Something that people might be noticing in the singles, maybe they're going to notice it more when they listen to the entire record, is like the use of like I started doing it on the way forward where when harmonizing a line or even playing like a unison with an octave or something, we started doing this thing where all of our harmonies are stereo pairs. So not all of them, but like most of them. So we get this like hard panned, compressed vocal stereo like choir vocal approach to the
Yeah.
harmonies. That way, it's not two mono guitars just sitting on top of each other or just panned apart. I want mine in the middle, like the vocal, but I want support in the
Yeah, no,
stereo
I mean that
field.
makes sense because the way you write your music is you have like vocal, melody, guitar parts, so that makes perfect
Yes.
sense. Yeah.
So we went even harder with that this time where I would track it a ridiculous amount of time so we have options. And then we would do things like we used a lot of Sound Toys Alter Boy, little Alter Boy, and we were doing things that you would do to a vocal. So
Wow.
we were like shifting the formant, so it has like a different like vowel or consonant to it, and then we would like manipulate the octave it's in, and then we would like distort it and fuck it up and make it like fuzzy and nasty, like the way you hear distorted vocals from bands like the 1975 or like things like that, where it's like really kind of gross and squelchy on its own, but in the mix it has this like fuzz to it.
Yeah.
We did it with bass. There's like a bunch of stereo bass moments that are really fuzzy. We also, like, even on 6 string songs, grabbed a 7 string. We used like single notes that are down the octave, and we did things to them like either we would like really monoize something and create like a almost like a sounds like a chainsaw, like right in the middle, and everything else is like around it. So it has this grind. Or we would do the opposite, where we would take things and then we would just put like stereo width on stuff. So it's like all out here. And you're going to hear a lot of these really blown out texturized sounds and stuff, things that are like kind of gross sounding and like really have a lot of attitude, or as Sam would describe them, like stylized moments. I've been trying to do that for the last 2 records, but again, when you don't work with the engineer who's mixing, it's really hard to
Yeah.
get those across, because the guy who's mixing via email is just trying to make the bass line sound good. You need not
Right.
bass
Yeah.
line,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the bass line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh, well, and then it
so
also gets it
yeah,
like hard into the reality of like you're also all listening on different things. Headphones
yeah,
all
that
sound
too,
different.
of
It's just
course, can be
like
really challenging.
yeah.
Yeah, and Simon was, he had to start the mix in Australia, and then because he had to leave for tour with Pliny, we were mixing on headphones exclusively. So it just kind of was what it was for that record, but still absolutely adore it, and I think that mix stands up it's
Yeah,
its own
I do
thing.
too. I like that record a
And I
lot.
and I love like having that, like some people trip about that when bands like sound really different every record, but I'm like, that's kind of the point. I don't know. That's just me. I think
Yeah.
that it's cool. And I think if you settle into something that is like, oh wow, they really found their thing, well, the band or the artist will tell you if they think they found their thing next
Right.
time when
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
repeat
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
or when they repeat the thing but evolve the thing, or when they
Yes.
just switch it up because maybe it wasn't what they wanted. I feel really good about this record. I feel like it's the most concise body of work so far. Um,
That's a really cool
Stoked on
insight
songwriting.
with the thought
Stoked on the
process.
mix. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, it's awesome. I will say even too today when I played it, I thought the clarity of like just how rhythm guitar sits, but I can hear it so precisely even while I'm listening to lead guitar. That kind of
Yes.
attention to detail is like super noticeable and loved, I think, especially by me. Um,
Thank you, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, I write all the stuff to interact with it with itself. Like the leads are chiming in with the rhythms, and the rhythms are supporting the leads. So I
yeah,
want it all to be that way. This has always been the goal. It's just we're finally starting to achieve it. Um, I think, and Sam did such a great job. If people aren't familiar with Sam Guayana's work, he did the latest Silverstein record. He's done
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
yeah, tons of other stuff that's like not in my neck of the woods
Yeah.
at all. That's the point. The point was to take a step away from the usual. Um, there's only a handful of people in the genre that mix this type of music, and for fear of maybe doing the same thing or sounding like some other things, we made a conscious effort, we being myself and my manager, to shy away from that and to try to carve sort of our own path by working with an engineer who was really excited about the project and was up for the challenge of presenting my ideas the way he presents very like big digestible rock records.
Yeah.
And that was the goal. And I'm so happy about it. Like it feels really good. Like I still will spin it from time to time, um, just to remind myself what we're getting ready to put out because we just keep
Yeah.
dropping the singles. You know the
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
I'm
not
I'm
overdoing it
living
by
your
any.
same life right now, I promise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and I'll throw it on just to like remind myself of what, yeah, what to get excited for and what everyone is about to experience
Yeah.
too on release day and everything. And I feel really good about it. I feel really, really good about it. I'm excited about the songs. They're really challenging. Some more so than others. But
I also
you
wanted
know,
to tell you that you've always done a very good job of writing songs that are fun to play on
no,
guitar.
thanks.
Um,
It has to be fun or else you're going to lose my attention. I'm going to lose my own
yeah, yeah,
attention.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I have to keep it fun. I have to make it feel like, oh yeah, this is going to be something I want to do 1,000 times. And it's always going to pose a challenge and be fun to explore and leave like room for me to continue improving at certain
yeah,
aspects and keep me on my toes. I like it.
yeah. Well, let's move away from the present for a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about young Aaron learning
Oh
guitar.
shit.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
I like to know what got people where they are, just because like I feel like it's not always what you expect either. So yeah, when you like before you even touched a guitar, what music kind of got you into the idea of it, or
Uh, well, when I was younger, like, so my parents have always had really good taste in music.
okay, that works,
Before
that
I was
helps.
even yes, they're not musicians, but they have impeccable taste in music. So like the sound of driving in the car somewhere, or like the sound of the house on a Saturday afternoon before dinner or something, was just like filled with like Pat Metheny and George Benson and Lee Ritenour and Larry Carlton and like sick music, Steely Dan,
Yeah,
like just really great music. And for like a young developing mind, like I don't know, man, I think you can't really do much better than that. I mean,
true.
there's tons of great, of course, the Beatles and so many other healthy things to grow a musical mind, but those examples would be the ones that shaped me.
Not just
Um,
nonstop Beethoven. You don't think?
we didn't do classical. No, they didn't do the classical thing.
Yeah,
My dad was sort of exploring like his taste in like contemporary jazz and like some things that were like a different attitude and vibe. And he was born in 1950, so like
well,
he grew up like his 20s and 30s would be when music was just, I mean, come on, like he's seen them all: Zeppelin, the Stones, Hendrix,
yeah,
Bob
yeah.
Marley. He's
Dude,
seen it
my
all.
dad has in still in his dining room. He has like a frame full of just concert tickets that he went to.
Fuck, and they probably all slap.
They all slap, and they were all like $3 to $4, and like
Oh shit.
yeah,
Yeah, that too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so so like that's kind of like the soundtrack. But I didn't express interest until in like playing music until just before high school. So like grade 5 or grade 6. But prior to that, I like I was going to concerts with my parents or like with friends and their parents that were willing to take us to shows. I saw all of the like heyday, like boy bands and like all the really cool music from our childhood. I saw it
Well,
all live.
yeah. See,
Backstreet Boys, NSYNC,
whoa.
Spice Girls, TLC, Destiny's Child. I saw fucking Aqua in a mall.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
Let's Go. Such a sick show.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about, I don't know why, but whenever I think about the Virgin, it's like what is it, like the Virgin something performance of Dillinger Escape Plan in the
Oh,
mall
yeah,
where
yeah,
he
yeah,
head walks,
yeah.
that angle of like where the camera, like that vantage point of where the camera is filming was like where I was when I saw Aqua in a mall. So not as cool, but like whenever I see that, I'm like, I've been to a mall show. It
Yeah.
wasn't quite as lit, but actually it was lit, but um, saw just all that stuff. And yeah, always like really excited about music as a kid, and like my mom was always down to like take me and friends to stuff like that. First rock shows would be like, I talked about this with somebody recently. First rock shows that I can remember, Sum 41 with Simple Plan. I think Trouble Charger was also on the show. Mindless Self Indulgence was on the show.
Whoa.
That was weird to see. When I just wasn't ready for that, especially
Yeah. I wasn't ready.
as especially MSI.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like of course, Sum 41 are from here, same place as like Protest the Hero. So like that was all the stuff I grew up on. Um,
And then when you
and
started playing guitar, what were you just constantly playing?
um, Nirvana, Green Day,
Okay.
just power chord
I was
stuff,
about to say
just
power chords.
the power chord
Yeah.
stuff, just trying to figure it out. Um, Blink 182,
That's the
stuff like
that's the
that.
reoccurring band that ever it just blows my mind. No matter what band or what genre you're in, it's always Blink
Blink,
182. Yeah.
they cover all the bases. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where that started. And then I had a buddy from like a summer camp that I would go to, and he had a friend whose older brother was like the cool punk rock skater guy who knew
Yeah.
about all the sick bands
Yeah.
that you've never heard of, that you're a dummy for not knowing about.
Right.
And like I would just like I would just latch on to like anything those guys were in, and that's how I found out about the whole world of punk rock. Pennywise, Bad Religion, Anti Flag, No
Yeah,
Effects,
yeah.
Rancid, um, Lagwagon, No Use for a Name, and then Crown Jewel for me, Strung Out. Still one of my all time favorite bands. Unbelievable band. Um, I reference them all the time. I'm still consistently stealing and ripping off and pillaging from
Wow.
Strung Out, because they're just, that's like the pinnacle of like thrashy punk rock with like written by guitar players that were like into all the cool metal. So it's like
With like
technical,
melodic undertones. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, fast melodic riffing with a shit ton of energy, still rough around the edges, but like, whoo, just riffs. Like I remember the first time I ever heard Exhumation of Virginia Madison, I was just like, oh, it's like 300 BPM.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like that. I'm just like, oh shit. Like, I think I can. Yeah, I think I can do that. So
back in the day where like you thought you were sick just because you could get it up to speed like that. You know what I mean? Like,
whoo,
dude, look how fast I could
yeah,
do this. You get your friends over.
just just fucking D beats, man. And
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so like stuff like that really got me excited. I got to see a lot of those bands. Um, I remember seeing like Goldfinger at a festival and being like, "Whoa!"
Whoa.
I remember, yeah, oh yeah. I remember seeing, oh man, been to a bunch of weird shows too. Saw Creed with 12 Stone. If you, yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's the
Yeah.
guy, the Evanescence, the dude from the song Evanescence
Yeah.
song, his band. Yeah, saw Creed. That was the first time I ever like I felt like the first time I was ever cognizant of kick drum in the chest
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
was that show. I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody has that memory where you're just like, wait, what? What?
It's like
Yeah,
I remember seeing Puddle of Mud live.
that's a
And
similar.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
actually a
yeah,
really
yeah,
similar.
exactly. And it was like I hate that band, but live it was just like,
Fuck,
what is that? Like the mix is just huge,
huge.
and they're just
Yeah, slamming.
yeah,
So yeah, so like all that kind of stuff, and then I would have found like the next step would have been like
Speaking of Creed, have you played that Tremonti amp?
Yeah, rips.
Okay, I figured it would.
Rips. So
Yeah,
do his guitars.
yeah,
Tremonti's sick.
yeah. He
Marty's
is.
sick.
His
Yeah,
his
Mark's
like
awesome.
solo project is actually sick too. It's
Yeah,
like,
he's great.
yeah.
Great dude. So yeah, next would be like I remember finding like Atreyu and Avenged Sevenfold and like the tiny little column in Guitar World magazine of like bands to check out.
Yeah, someone just said we need to talk more about Aaron's love for post-hardcore, like Silverstein, Aaron Berlin, Copeland, etc.
Ooh, not so much Copeland. Amberlin though.
Amberlin was huge
Oh,
for me. Amberlin, that was around the
oh,
time of like, it's really funny. I mean, my big titans were like Thrice.
oh, huge.
Yeah,
Artist in the Ambulance is
yeah,
like top. That
yeah.
changed my life.
And then like
And of
it's
course,
funny.
everything before it and Visu and everything.
Well, yeah, all that, and then they put Alchemy Index out, and I like felt like more distinguished as a person. I was like, oh, this is culture. Like,
Yes.
I
Huge
love that
Thrice
shit.
fan,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Thrice.
I mean, Deadbolt was probably the first thing
Yep.
to awaken.
Do you
Avenged
do you have
Dead
that
and, like, all
shirt that they put out that I've heard Deadbolt 300,000 times, but I still want to hear it?
No, but I have the Visu album cover long sleeve.
Ooh,
I got that recently as a treat to myself
so
because I was
sick.
like, that's so sick. But yeah, okay, put left for post hardcore. I mean, yeah, discovering the Waterfront by Silverstein was so huge for me. That's why it's so sick to work with Sam. I know Sam didn't do their early records; he did their later records, and he's currently the engineer they work with. But my manager is best friends with and like started his management company with Paul Kohler from Silverstein. That's what
Yeah.
Tandem Management is Richard Fernandez and Paul Kohler from Silverstein.
Richard's an
So
awesome
that's like
dude.
yeah, Rich is the reason I'm doing anything I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
As organized, all the stuff I'm annoying you guys with online, like all the posting, like
Just blame
all these
Richard.
assets. The fact that we've got giveaways and we're doing this, the
Yeah.
songs are coming out and playthroughs and da da da. It's all Rich. I just make the stuff and he just plugs
I
it in,
just post
you
it.
know, into the machine, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Rich. Rich got his start like he went to high school with the guys. He was like their drum tech
So weird.
and then like went on to like tour manage Protest the Hero and be like and then he's like a mogul here in the city with all these different labels,
Yeah.
management companies and stuff like that. And then now he stands on his own and he manages Protest the Hero, the co-management kind of vibe with Silverstein, August Burns Red, Intervals, fucking Seaway, fucking Belmont,
Yeah, the dude does a
fucking
lot. It's
there's other
crazy.
stuff I'm forgetting, like Moths to Flames. Yeah, tons of shit. 4 Year Strong, just brought in 4 Year Strong, which
Ooh.
that's a top
Yeah,
band for
yeah,
me
yeah.
as well. Also, they put the best record of their whole career at the beginning of this year. Brain Pain is fucking
I don't even think I've heard it, dude.
unbelievable.
I don't even think I knew
Oh
about it.
my buddy, they did a Putney record.
Oh, that's insane. Okay,
4 Year Strong.
I'll literally listen to it after this podcast.
You have to.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
so, dude.
I
Guitar
didn't.
Tone.
That's so funny,
God.
dude. I saw them for their 10-year
So sick.
for the crazy album, the one that I ripped to death.
The one they just did?
No.
This year?
No,
Like
they
before-
did. They
you're
did a
talking
10.
about-
Yeah. We played with them at South by, and they did a 10-year for the record.
Yeah. For probably Rise or Die Trying.
That one. Yep. And
Yeah.
I was on stage watching them, which normally I'd never get to do, but because it was just a chaotic festival. Dude, they were just blaring out. It could have even not been PA. It was just their cabs were so loud.
That's a real band.
Yeah.
That's a real band.
And it shook me to my core. And I play music for a living.
So sick.
Yeah.
I fucking love that band. So yeah, and somebody mentioned Amberlin. I mean, never take friendship personal.
Yeah.
Fuck. Seosin. Fuck.
Yeah. Seosin's always been a top one for me.
Do you know about Say Hello to Sunshine by Finch? Do you know about that album?
No.
This comes up often when this part of the conversation happens. There's another one for your list. Check that record out.
Okay.
It's a prog record from Finch, and it completely derailed their entire fan base. They went from What It Is to Burn to that, and their fans had no idea how to process that.
Whoa.
And it's like somebody took acid and got a jazz master.
So
like,
weird.
Oh, dude, and there's like reoccurring riff motifs in various songs. and it's fucking creepy, and there's like the mix is insane, riffs are insane. You know who has a common love for this was, I remember exactly when it happened when I discovered this. We were on that tour with the Contortionist, was intervals in the Contortionist only, and we finished up at Summit Music Hall in Denver, and it's like, you know, Contortionist just finished, you know, house music comes on, we're tearing down and stuff, and like I think it was Bite Marks and Bloodstains came on, which is a song from that record, and I was like, yo, who put this on? And Robbie was just like, yeah, that's my playlist. And I was
Of
like,
course,
you know
dude.
about this album?
Yeah,
I was
of
like,
course.
nobody knows about this album. And then we just like, I mean, Robbie and I already
Did we
are
just
very
become
much
best
on the same
friends?
page with a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah.
But we took our friendship to a whole other
Yeah.
level when I realized he knew about this album. So yeah, Say Hello to Sunshine by Finch. It's fucking
Okay. Say
unbelievable.
hello to Sunshine by
Um,
Finch.
yeah, it's so good, dude. But yeah, man, I love all that stuff. I love My Chemical Romance. I love AFI. I love Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. I love
I mean,
all that
it's cool
stuff.
too because it just sounds like you just love music. You know what I mean? And like just
I
from
love music in
yeah,
general,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I really was living for the heyday, like early 2000s.
yeah. I get
Here's
that.
another one that everyone needs to check out. This record just turned 15 years old. Major impact on me. This is a band nobody knows. And not to take away from them, but it's just they're a smaller Canadian band that did some American touring. We're on the Warped Tour and stuff, but they're a band that maybe some people know about, but probably not. The band's called The Fully Down,
Yeah, never heard of
and
them.
the album is called Don't Get Lost in a Movement. It's the proggiest little pop punk record. The fucking riffs are insane, compositions are insane. It's actually George Hadjicristo who is the front of house for Parkway Drive, and he's from Ottawa, Ontario, and he and his brother were born in Greece, and his brother recorded the drums on my new record. Yep, we did the
God.
drums with Dean,
Okay.
and Dean made that record for George. George is his kid brother, and that was his band. And they made that record in their parents' basement. It just turned 15. That record is legendary. Everyone needs to check that one out. It's "Don't Get Lost in a Movement" by the Fully Down. The fact that we just recorded drums with Dean, with George's older brother, and that's who engineered the drums on my record. And I lived at Dean's house for a week, and every day I'm like trying to pick his brain, like little. So like,
Yeah, yeah. It
how
just
did you
yeah.
how did you do what, like 15 years ago, like how did you do this, how did you write record, is like
And he's just
so
rolling
exciting
his
for us.
eyes
So
trying to track your drums. He's like,
no, he's just, they're so excited that
yeah,
people
yeah,
still care about that
yeah.
record.
That's true.
Really cool band. They were a 3 guitar band, 3 guitar pop punk band with like prog tendencies, techie prog tendencies. Really sick band.
Sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, you would like it a lot. So yeah, anyway, that's the shit I love. But just to kind of backtrack a little bit, like right around the time I found Atreyu and Avenged Sevenfold and stuff was like when I got more into metal. And then I found Protest the Hero because they're local. And then like I'm starting to keep my ear to the ground a little bit. And then like if you're from Toronto and you're like in my age range and you're hearing about Protest the Hero at that time, it's like, of course, that's
Yeah, yeah.
everything you want to do and be.
Yep.
So and Rich also manages them as well. That's like family to us. And Luke runs Sheet Happens
Yep.
Publishing,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is the company that does
We've
all of our
we've done
physicals
stuff
and our
through
tab
that. Yeah.
books and stuff, and they're coordinating our entire pre-order effort right now.
Whoa.
They have an office here in Toronto. I'm actually there tomorrow. I'll spend my day there tomorrow doing the rest of the tab book with the in-house transcriber. Yeah, it's a great operation. It's amazing, and I just love that Toronto has that little ecosystem, and like the world of Prague kind of like has like a flag just kind of like planted in it here. Because there's not much of it going on here, man. It's like it's protest intervals. Nick Johnson lives like almost an hour outside of
Oh
town,
yeah, that dude.
but like
God.
it's not really, that's
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's a little bit different. And they haven't been active in a little while, but a band called Mandroid Echo Star,
Oh, I've heard of that
who
band.
are,
I loved
yeah,
Protest
super
the
sick
Hero's
band.
latest record. I loved it.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
It was
It's
crazy.
some of their strongest material since
Yeah.
Kazaya and Fortress. It's
Yep.
so good. I got to work on Volition too, and that's kind of how our like relationship started. 2014, it would have been like end of 2013. Luke got an Axe Effects and they were making Volition, and he's like, "Dude, can you?" I was
Teach me
like,
your
"Yeah,
wizardry. Yeah.
please let me come be your friend." So I went into the studio with Protest and I helped dialing guitars for
That's
that. That's
so
how I met
sick.
Cam, and that's how Cam ended up doing The Shape of Color and The Way Forward.
Whoa.
And then when I was in the studio with Protest, they invited Intervals on our first Europe tour. So it was Protest the Hero, Tesseract, Intervals, and Protest the Hero, Tesseract, the Safety Fire, Intervals
Ooh.
in Europe. Crazy tour.
Yeah.
Time of my life. First
Yeah.
Europe tour. You know what that's like. Time of my fucking life. So sick. And then we had like 2 weeks off, and then we went right into Protest the Hero, Battlecross, fucking somebody else is on this tour. I'm totally blowing this. Protest the Hero, Battlecross, the Safety Fire, Intervals, and Night Versus.
Whoa.
When Night Versus had a vocalist, when that was when Doug was singing for the band.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Nick and Eric and Riley, and I love that band. Which is why they ended up supporting me on the Way Forward tour. I was like, I deliberately invited them. They're some of my favorite humans.
Yeah,
So anyway,
I've had Nick
that's
on
kinda
here,
like-
and he's so
Oh,
sick.
fuck yeah.
He's an insane dude.
Nick's the homie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick was one of the last people I saw. So I saw you at NAMM. Then right before this, we have this tradition where I always go to Nick's place for like a few hours and like chill before I catch my flight out. On
Right,
the
because he was
like
telling
Sunday
me he
or
lives
Monday or
like
whatever.
right down the street from the.
Yeah, he lives
freaking-
in. They're in Fullerton, which is like near Anaheim. Yeah. So, fuck, man. Anyway, that's the shit that got me into music. I definitely missed a bunch of stuff in there.
Oh
but,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
I missed getting in my first like elementary school fight and getting suspended for a week and learning entire Metallica songs from front to back. And
Yeah,
learning them all.
that curbed your anger right there. You get in your first fight and you learn Metallica. That's
it curbed my sane anger. Ha!
All right.
I'll be here forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Well, so we.
But anyhow, yeah.
Yeah. That's all sick. We kind of we were definitely around the same area, me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
we're not that far apart.
It's funny.
In age, so
I would one of the first bands I would throw up is Alexis on Fire, and they're Canadian.
Oh, huge. I don't always necessarily cite them as like a major influence from that
for
time.
Me,
oh my.
For me, I like,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
because a lot of Americans don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that surprising? Because they're not that big in America.
To me, it is just because like it's such a weird. I was literally, my dad had these like friends around the house because my dad was a musician and he had musician friends. And one of them showed me Alexis on. They showed me Crisis one day, and like just sonically, I was not ready. Like at the age I was,
dude,
I was like, "What are these?" Some of the guitar chords were just so fat,
are so sick,
Yeah.
big, dense. Like the chords with the like upper partials and the extensions. It's like the first time you ever heard anything beyond a fucking power chord.
Yeah, dude. So like at that time,
like,
I was just like
reverbs on rhythm guitars and weird shit.
And like it's so weird to think back to that dude and like why did he know what Alexis? Like I guess that was my version of like the skater punk rock dude who knew all the cool bands. You know what I mean? Like it was like
that's cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dad's homie. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's a fucking good come up.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about. We already talked about how you kind of change your perspective every time you write a new record. But is there anything that you just need? Is there any zen that you have to get into before writing for Intervals or?
I just need time.
Yeah.
I just need.
Don't we all?
I just need time. And we got it. We've been asking for it, and we fucking got it.
Take it back, please.
God, yeah. I ordered with my eyes on that one. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, time really, which is funny considering, you get to a point where you have to make the moves that put the dates on the calendar because you can have all the time in the world and you can have a great record, but if you didn't line touring up, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So you have to, all of a sudden it goes to no time, but at least I need to start with time.
Yeah.
And this is why I think I feel the most excited to continue writing now is because I feel like well-oiled and dialed in from making a record. I know that I can't go on tour anytime soon. I know that once the PR campaign and all the things that I have to do to service this record run its course,
you've got
I'm gonna make a record.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna make an EP or I'm gonna make like a series of singles. collaboration stuff, I'm just gonna make more music
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get weird and do some shit I've never done before
Okay.
because now I finally don't have deadlines for the first time in all of Interval's history. I can write with no deadlines.
Wow.
So
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
excited for more stuff, man. It's like I said earlier,
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
just excited for the content that this has brought. You know what I mean? Like it's just I don't
No,
know.
for sure. I was worried for a while there that it was going to be a dark time and that maybe, I mean, I was thinking like, okay, yeah, no, some acts are going to come with it hard. Like when, Bring Me the Horizon dropped Parasite Eve, I was just like, okay, that's what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you do in quarantine is you write one of the sickest fucking songs and you make an unbelievable video and you go swinging for the fucking fences. And it's like, not, I wasn't surprised in the slightest to
Yeah.
see that from them. I was like, that is what you do, obviously.
Duh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they did it again fucking recently with Youngblood. That song and that video is insane. The fact that they produced two absolute smashes, like home runs during this period. Um, I mean, you have to fucking give it up for an act like that that's that driven. And the crazy thing is that's like the majority of that. Of course, Jordan Fish and other individuals are contributing to that, but that's Ollie. And that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have so much respect for like the
I
level of ambition it
yeah, and
requires to
like
do that.
I love their notice for the big picture. Like they just do everything so big and execute it so well that it's just like they just even
Fucking
if they
huge.
weren't the biggest band ever, they would feel like the biggest band ever, you know what I mean? Like it's just they have that
And that's what
level about
counts,
them.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that shit. So yeah, I don't know. It's always cool to talk about this part of stuff because like I don't know, as like an instrumental guitar player, somebody from like the quote unquote prog world, it's just like I feel like fans expect a certain thing because like everyone's always talking about the same stuff. They're talking about their love for the big prog giants, how much they love Dream Theater and Opeth, how much they love this, that, this guitar player,
Yeah.
this, and just its guitars and its pickups and its gear. And it's like, and trust me, I fucking love all that stuff, but like, it's not what gets me off about music. I'm so into everything, and the older I get, the more into my early stuff. I dig further and further and further into my bag
I do too, man.
because
Yeah.
yeah, and that's where the inspiration for like this record comes from. People are like, wow, it's like the most proggy in this record, and it's like funny though because like I'm moving further and further and further away and getting closer and closer and closer to my
Dude,
goal.
I love you saying that cuz like there's a lot of Tool on the new Era record.
Yes,
And
and
it's
there
like,
should be, and there should be all
yeah,
the
you're
other things
right.
that you guys
Yeah,
love,
I know, but it's like it helped
and there
that they
should
just
be.
like put out a new record and then put all their stuff out on Spotify and like,
Yes, and it reminds you about how
yeah,
excited you were and how
yes,
much of an
dude.
impact that's always had, and now you can really embrace it and be like, "Fuck
Yeah,
yeah!"
that's
And
exactly what
pulling from
happened.
that stuff is going to make you write music that doesn't feel like everything that's happening around you because
Yeah.
you shouldn't like you should definitely like pay respect and be cognizant of the things that are happening around you, but don't pull from like the new record that came out in your genre that just came out like 4 months ago.
And you know what? I tried doing
Like
that for a little while and I was in the wrong headspace for sure. And like when you're in a genre, right? Like I think there's something wrong with Era trying to do a Born of Osiris part. But when Era does a Meshuggah part, like we pay homage to one of the greats, it's like all of
yes,
a sudden it's like, oh
fuck.
fuck, that is so sick. You know what I mean? It's like,
Fuck yes,
yeah,
and that's and yes, absolutely. I feel like it's really good to wear your influences on your sleeve, um, but you have to. Yeah, there's just a way to do it, right? And I think
yeah,
the further you reach back, the more genuine that comes across too, because these are the things that laid the foundation for how you even vibe with music, what you like about it, how you approach your instrument. That
and
stuff
yeah.
built you in the formative years. You know what I
And
mean?
that's the
That's the
stuff I
shit that
like
really matters.
love. Like that's why I ask every podcast guest, like, what got you into even playing? You know what I mean? Because it's like
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
such, like you said earlier, like developmental years.
Yeah,
informative years.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm pulling from stuff that you would not expect. Like you don't think I'm like walking around the block taking a break from writing, listening to like Story of the Year and Newfound Glory,
yeah,
and
dude.
like listening back to stuff that just got me so excited about music back then. Really obscure records. Tell me why I rinsed a Reliant K record over and over and over again during the writing of this new record. It makes no
Yeah,
fucking sense
yeah,
to the average person that listens to prog music. It makes a shit ton of sense to me. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
That's so sick.
So, and like, and I'm gonna come left field with it, and I'm gonna play some stuff that sounds fresh to you because you don't think that that's what you wouldn't attribute it, and it allows me to reach further into my bag of inspiration without feeling like, oh, you're like doing this thing I just heard on, like I'll give you an example, like when I'm Awake came out, okay, and I started to use some different, sparse chord voicings like drop twos for the non-theory people. It's like a dyad. So instead of like picture like an octave, right? Instead of that, it's like you're playing like diatonic, like major seventh or minor seventh,
Right.
and
Yeah,
it's just two notes. It's right. It's like this kind of thing. Really sparse voicing, really strange voicings, but with attitude and tone and all this type of stuff. It works great, right? Well, I'm exploring sounds that I love from like George Benson and Pat Metheny, but I'm trying to do it with gain and aggression and da da da. I drop I'm Awake, and people are like, it sounds like Chon. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, just ask. I'm like, just ask
Yeah,
Mario where he got it. Ask
yeah,
Mario where he got it, because there's so much more music before last March of that year or
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
whenever that record came out. You got to get your shit straight. Please, 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 please don't act like music just happened for the first time
Yeah.
yesterday.
Well, and
There's
like
so much.
if you try to draw from the bands around you, like that are within close
You're
proximity of
going
you,
to you run the risk of sounding exactly like the bands around you.
because you already sound like that band around you. But if you pull from a band really far from you, you sound like a cooler
Mm-hmm.
variant of yourself.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
again, it's just more honest. So when I'm like, you know, cranking fucking right side of the bed or bleeding mascara, and people want to know why there's some sounds that's like some throwback early 2000s vibes on this new record, because it fucking rules. It ruled then, it rules now.
Yeah, dude.
And nobody's doing that, especially in our space. I love all that stuff. Like, yeah, and I was on a massive 4 Year Strong tear, especially since their new record came out, had me just going backwards through all that stuff. Um, yeah, man, tons of AFI.
That's so
Girls Not
sick.
Gray, just on fucking loop, remembering how dope that song was, and
Yeah,
like, everything before it. Just yeah, I don't know. I could go on forever, but
I feel you. So you're
really,
kind
I'm
of
just really excited about that
your
stuff.
video is lagging a little bit. I'm gonna try something out real quick before we move on to the.
Okay, a little live trial and error. It's all that might be better.
I fixed it real fast. I'm good at that.
Real fast.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So
Cool.
let's just transition. I wanted to use that as a bit of a transition. Let's talk about
Cool.
gear, because we're guitar players. We're freaking nerds. You have plenty of it behind you.
Yeah.
Dude, you're
Fuck
playing
yeah.
you're playing Manas now, which is sick.
Yes.
Those
And
guitars
they're
rip.
wonderful, wonderful guitars. Amazing team of people.
From Poland,
Um,
right?
Yep, from Gdansk, Poland. I got to visit the shop right after Download Festival and a Euro headliner last summer, and I've known David and some of the guys there for a little while prior to all that. Like, they're always really kind to me at NAMM, and we'd always hang out. And I got friends that have been playing
It's
guitars for a
a
long
it's a
time. And
fun booth. It's a lively booth for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
so sick. And every time I would encounter one on tour or whatever, and I just spent like some weeks that summer with C2, C2A, and he was on tour with me, and he's got a good little collection of them and stuff. And at the time, um, I was just free to do what I want. And, I mean, I talked about this on the neural stream earlier. Like, I still I love guitars. I'm going to play whatever the fuck I want. I've
Yeah,
got my
yeah.
Sir Strat there. You know, I'm not actively working with the company anymore, but fuck, I mean,
It's a
doesn't
sick guitar.
there's
Yeah.
no bad blood. Like they're fucking unbelievable guitars. And it's not about just like, okay, I'm with this company. Now I'm going to just do this one thing. It's not about that. All my Aristides are around the corner and, you know, I got a Bossy, bunch of other stuff. I just got a Gretsch Baritone 6. Sick. I haven't taken any pictures of that yet. It's a 30 scale 6 string. It's fucking sick.
I'm trying to
It's something
picture
different.
what that would even Gretsch.
Do you want to say it? One sec.
It's Gretsch.
I'll bring it. One sec.
I'll be right back. Give me a second. How's this dude got a secret labs chair?
You're gonna laugh because it's so fucking big.
What
Look at the size of this thing.
Fuck, dude.
Let's go.
Nice bass, bro.
Fucking enormous. Look at this thing. It's so sick. It's tuned B to B, but I have it in drop A right now. It's got ropes on it. Like, it's fucking sick, dude. It's so sick.
It is sick. That's so sick. I'll make a joke about it when he gets back.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful classic guitar.
Time to get weird.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
You remember when Mark Hoppus played a 6-string bass?
Oh yeah.
That's what that totally reminds me of.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But anyway, I digress. I love gear. I love it dearly.
Well, so what are you crazy about right now? Like, what do you just are always?
Well, I'm crazy about something that exists and I don't have it yet, and it's mine, and that's all I can say.
Oh, okay, bro.
Yeah. But we've done something. We've done a thing. So
I'd rather you just not say anything at all when it's going to be that.
Well, it exists made of MDF, so it's not official timber just yet.
Okay.
But what I can say, this will make things clear because I was hinting at this with Earl. I have this, and this is a wonderful specimen from Mayo, and a lot of people have been like, oh, I guess you were missing your Sirs, so you needed a guitar that has like that kind of headstock. It's kind of
God, I hate people.
No,
they had those guitars at NAMM before you like even
with a pick guard.
Yeah,
with a pick guard. So look, the idea here, I'm going to try to describe this without giving it away. This is not the thing I'm describing, but it contains materials of the thing that I'm describing, but the thing I'm describing isn't this shape. It's not this. So this is an opportunity to test those materials.
Okay.
So a lot of people are seeing this and like, oh, there it is. No. My thing isn't ready yet. This thing allows me to hear what it would sound like. It's not what it would look like because we have to get some things correct. There's some things that need to get dialed. This allows me to hear, see, and feel things. So also not final, but I needed to experience this, which is roasted swamp ash body, playing around with some ideas for neck, etc., and just getting some other details correct. However, even though it's just like a experiment, fuck, is it good?
Yeah, that guitar is insanely beautiful.
It's absolutely insane. It plays like a fucking dream. It's so nice, and it sounds ridiculous. It's the loudest Mayo that I own because it's bolt-on and because of the materials. But yeah, so love this. Really enjoying it. Bare knuckle silos, 5-way, Goto 510, quarter sound Wenge neck.
Is silo? Is that Rabia?
Those are Rabia's pickups.
Yeah.
They're the closest thing in the range to my preference.
Okay.
I tried a set and fell in love with them, and they're in all of my guitars except for my Abasi, obviously.
I need to get Rabia on here. That dude, I respect that dude so much.
I'm a huge fan, and Tosca rules.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, sick band. So yeah, anyway, happy with what's going on there. Still, acquiring bits and bobs. I'd love to get Strat for life. Maybe I'll be a big boy and I'll actually get a single, and I'll fuck around and get a real ass Strat.
I'm always chasing the dragon of the single humbucker. That's the perfect guitar for me.
Yeah, so I've got that already, which makes me feel like I shouldn't, if I'm going to get a Strat, get another HSS, because I have like the perfect HSS. It's this. Which was This is my first, sir.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
this is the guitar that started that relationship, and I fucking love this guitar. Um, nice checked nitro body. It's already kind of beat up, so you don't have to babysit it. Um, I think it's a Thornbuck. No, I went back to an SSH. Could be an SSH plus. I can't remember. We did this a long time ago. I don't like those bent saddles, so we did solid saddles on this.
Okay.
And then it's got whatever a 2014 Classic Antique would have come with for singles, and series parallel mod here, and quarter sawn roasted neck. It's just a straight up. It's just a unit. Thing's fucking sick. I love this guitar.
I learned guitar at
So
my
yeah,
dad's Mexican-made Candy Red Apple Stratocaster, and
man,
then
you can't beat a Strat. My
I
first electric
know,
guitar was a Strat.
and
So
then I got like this Podunk SG Epiphone, and I hated it so much. It was so neck heavy, you could let go of it, and it would just swing down. I hated that guitar so much.
I had an SG. It was my second electric guitar, and yes, it had neck dive.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
and then I got a Texas Hot Special
okay.
HSS.
So you're a
It's
Strat guy.
sickest ever. Well, like I'm all like as you can see behind me, it's just like strats are super strats. I'm good. I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
like
So I'd like to get a custom shop Strat, or like a Strat for life kind of vibe. I just got to find the right one, and I really should just knuckle up and do an SSS and make it like that kind of thing,
yeah.
because I already, why am I getting another HSS? I
Well,
have
yeah,
one.
yeah,
It's
and
this. You
like that,
can't
it
beat
works for
this.
so much of your stuff. It really does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not even so, it would be a textural thing. It would be something I use for recording cleans and textured mid-gain stuff and trippy things and just experimenting with. It's not like the full, like it's not the mantle or the centerpiece for a
Yeah.
song. Maybe for a piece here and there. I can't do, like, Nick is bold. I'm talking about Nick Johnson. He's bold with that. Although he has gone into the world of humbuckers lately. Took him fucking a long
Has
time,
he?
but he
Yeah.
his latest models do have they are HSS. So if
Okay.
you want a really good HSS, get that fucking Schecter Custom Shop, dude. That's a sick one. Or
Okay.
get a fucking Sir, because they're awesome.
Yeah, yeah. There's a
But
shop
anyway,
near me
so
that has a lot of sirs. It's really weird.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know
they have a big
why.
dealer network in America.
No,
Yeah.
but it's
Um,
like a pre-owned shop. Like they just have keep happening
oh,
upon themselves with sirs.
somebody, yeah, okay. Anyway, love this one. Wonderful guitar.
Um,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, I'm always chasing the like. I want a Strat that can just be super heavy. That's just like
You should just get fucking. There's so many things you could do with Ibanez.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You could get pretty close. So this is just, I mean, do I have to say much about this?
No,
This
you
is
don't.
no, you don't.
Is that
So
a
this is my,
Regius or is
yeah,
that
this
yeah?
is so this one, and then everyone knows about the green one. You see me with it all the time. It's kind of like my main Regius. That the green one and this one were born at the same time. They're essentially the same spec, except this one has an ash body.
Okay.
It's all murdered out back there, so you can't really see, but this one has an ash body, and Schaller Hana's bridge. So a little bit of different construction gives these guitars an extremely unique sound. This bridge is essentially, well, one, it bolts into a plate that's sandwiched into the body. So like there's crazy contact with this, but also the saddles are all Graphtec.
Yep.
So there's a very specific, very aggressive sound with these guitars. They're
Just
not
solid.
necessarily this,
It's just
yeah, they're not necessarily the sweetest or most balanced, but I find for things that have to do this thing, works really well.
yeah.
Little compromising for this in terms of the tonal quality, not the playability, but the tonal quality. And then these are silos. This actually has a custom three-way. These guitars were dialed really specifically for live on a five-way. Five-way is my preference, of course. I do like the options in the studio,
Yeah.
but I only ever prioritize 1, 2, and 5 on the switch. So these are Schaller made some custom switches where it literally does that. It's position 1, which is obviously humbucker. Then it's position 2 from a 5-way. This happens to be position 2 on a
Oh,
3-way.
that's
So it's
cool.
just so it's rock, twang, solo.
That's
So it's
sick.
really simple. So I
Yeah.
can just land right in the middle, really easy. Um, and yeah, ebony board. These are a laminate neck, but they're predominantly maple top. ash body. This thing fucking rips. This and the Abasi were the 7s that were used on the record. And I've been practicing a lot with this because I've got a playthrough I'm shooting on Tuesday for the next single. So that lets the cat out of the bag. It's a 7-string song. So whoop.
Whoop. Heavier stuff on this record. I wasn't gonna say it, but I'll say it.
No, you're allowed to say it.
All right,
that's fine. Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's nice.
Fuck yeah, it feels good to do again. I wanted to scratch that itch. Also, there's no standard tuning songs on the record. It's all drop D, and then one of the 7-string songs is drop A, and then the other one is drop D with a low A.
Drop tunings for life, bro. I don't even remember how to play standard tunings, if I'm going to be honest.
I mean, the thing is every time I spend time away from one, I want the other. So I start playing standard stuff again, like, you know what I mean? So then I'm like, oh, I missed that. And I think it's good. I think that's healthy because then that's how you get the riffs back.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, I haven't burnt out on it.
We have a saying here. It is drop D is OP.
Drop D is OP. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the rundown on that. And then, like, you know, I've got some toys.
Yeah, dude.
Rest in peace of the greatest of all time. And this is fucking.
I already talked about him for like 40 minutes on the last week's episode, so I can't find myself.
Everybody's got their. It also transpired on my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah. So, love that thing. You just take a cable, you put it in the input, and you're
then
done.
You're like the most solid metal guitar player ever.
I reamped the entire recent Auras record with this album with no pedals. This is the sound of that album is this. That's it.
So stupid.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
And then this is the best amp that Mesa currently makes. This is the Triple Crown 100. I had the 50 to start, migrated to the 100. Fucking love this amp. Like all Mesa amps, it's very challenging to dial. You just have to learn the controls. You have to understand how things influence each other. It's not just like a regular amp where you just crank some dials. Every single dial has an influence on the next one.
Yeah.
Very, very complicated. Just like when you see guys rectifier settings and you're like, that's how you get that sound. It's like, yes, it's not what you think it is. So I love this. You can put EL34s or 6L6s in it. It slaps. Used it all over the way forward. Still jam it all the time. Love it. Star PT100, also all over the way forward. Fucking great amp. I love this amp. It gets the least amount of play. It's probably going to turn into something. If anyone wants to buy a PT100 and you're in the Toronto, Canada area, or you're willing to ship, it has a road case and a matching cabinet. I'll do a crazy deal for that. Anyway, I want to turn it into a Friedman. I want to turn it into a Friedman BE100 Deluxe, maybe a Dover, something in the hot rodded Marshall realm, because that's the sort of function it's been serving. Down here, I have the Rev. I have the D20. I got it before the G20. I kind of want to see if Sam is willing to take that back and hit me with the G20. I haven't talked about it with him yet.
That's my beach rig, dude.
You have the G20.
The G20, bro.
The beach rig, yeah. Super sick. And then not in frame is my Morgan SW50R
insane,
and the matching open back 212, which is the rig that everyone sees Tosin with. It's like a clean, dumble-y kind of like all-American, like high headroom clean. It
dude, it's
pedals
like it's
no other
more
amp.
Than that, bro. Morgan is the craziest amp I've ever
they're
played.
fucking sick. Joe Morgan made me that amp because I spent, I did the North American leg of the Animals run. That was the 2016 year where it was like plintervals all year.
Yeah.
And day one in Scottsdale, Arizona, Tosin showed up with that rig, and I just went, oh my goodness, I need that. So then he gave me Joe's number. I texted Joe. Joe made me one. He brought it to the Maya, and I took it home with me. Whew, it's good.
It's awesome.
It's really good. I got a bunch of pedals sitting down in front of it. I just got some new toys as well that I'm really excited about. I got the Strymon Night Sky, which is that crazy reverb, which I'm sort of describing as like it's like the second cousin twice removed on Xanax from the Big Sky. It's like you know what I mean?
That was such an insane analogy. I'm having to catch up.
Yeah, it's like the guy you like. He's really fun at a wedding, but you probably don't
want to hang out with him all the time. Yeah.
He's that. Yeah, that's that one. Fuck, is it good? It's so weird and trippy. I actually planned to. So I got that, and I got the Volante, which is the like tape echo. It's got like the They call it a magnetic tape machine or whatever, however they're describing
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
That thing's really dope. It's got multiple tape heads in it or multiple like delay heads in it. You can make it do all this wild stuff. You can, turn up the like mechanical like wear and warble of the, all the various vibes. It's really cool. The plan is when my new desk shows up, I'm going to chain up the Volante and the Night Sky in stereo sends from my Apollo.
Oh,
And that way I can run not only guitar stuff, but I can run synths and anything I want
through
out of my
those.
Apollo through some Strymon pedals and back in and have them on my desk. I'm really into like tactile hardware. I love plugins, don't get me wrong, and that's cool, but I love hardware and I love being able to just like, ooh, like let me just get that
Yeah,
quick.
yeah,
So
yeah. I'm the same
I don't
way.
get to
That's
do
why I'm
enough of it.
loving the G20 right now. It's because it's taking my hardware need and making it a digital solution for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Which is why I have this, which is I was using the Sir reactive load, which is wonderful. It's still the best like basic solution for getting your amps into the digital domain. But right at the tail end of last year, very fortunate to have connected with Boss Roland here in Toronto. They sent me a bunch of stuff that I absolutely adore. Main One of them being it's right here and you can't see it, but it's a Roland System 8 synth, which is
okay.
all over the
Whoa.
new record. Yeah, it's like one of their big flagship synths. Song 3, the beginning of Song 3, that like really trippy kind of like rhythmic sort of arpeggiated synth thing at the beginning. That's this. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I've got the synth bug big time. I'm saving to get a Moog subsequent 37. That's the one that I want.
Yeah.
Super into it. So anyway, yeah, the Boss stuff is great. This is how I get all my amps into the Apollo, and then I can do whatever. So I can chain up some pedals and get amp sounds. Obviously, it's really, it just depends on what you want to do, how you want to skin the cat, really, because the whole new record is all neural DSP plugins. You can just plug a cable into your Axify or
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
into your interface, pardon me. And then yeah, and of course I have the Axe FX3, the desk and everything. We like our toys. I got some toys. Okay, we're into the
Yeah.
gear. But yeah, like that's pretty much what I'm into. It's a lot of the things that people already know that I had. A little library of pedals and some stuff, bunch of MXR shit, bunch of Walrus Audio stuff. There's a bunch that are missing from here because they're over there. Been playing around during the day and just kind of tripping out, having some fun. Got some JHS stuff. Got some
The stereo delay into your that sounds insane. That sounds like it would just give you a
yeah. So I
DMT
did a
trip from like one chord.
So I did a session for a friend here in the city with a producer named Dejan, and Dejan's done like a bunch of really big Canadian rock records, but he had this. See, he's a bad influence because I knew I wanted a baritone six for a while, and he had a baritone six telly that was on a lot of the early 3 Days Grace stuff. And I
Okay.
played that guitar, and I went, "Yep, I'm gonna need one of those."
Yeah.
So I saw Rabia's demo of the Gretsch, and I got the Gretsch because it's fucking sick.
We tracked our EP before we stopped recording with Brian Hood on a Mike Mushak PRS
Oh
baritone.
yeah, because there's something different about getting around on
Yeah,
that.
there is. That's when Era refused to play seven strings, and lo and behold, look
Right.
where we're at now.
No, and I mean they're just different things. It's a different
Yeah.
instrument. And then Dejan also had a Big Sky and a Timeline on his desk, and I was like, "How are you using those?" And he's like, "Oh, they're just on sends from my Apollo." And I was like, "Yes, yes, that works.
Yeah.
That works for a guitar player, big time." Because again, I love plugins. I got the Sound Toy stuff. I got the U80 stuff. I have my go-tos, things that I like. Of course, all the classics like the Waves H delay. You're not going to get much better than that for
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
good stereo ping pong. Like there's just standards, but then there's also times when you want to get weird. So, and I like using really stylized effects with synths. Not so much with guitar, it depends on the moment, but with synths, yes. So, Night Sky and Volante were little treats recently.
God,
Finished
it just
recording,
sounds so
finished
fun to play with. Yeah. It's,
yeah, I just love that stuff. And I just, especially, dude, you got to check out the Night Sky. You can do pitched reverbs and then you can step sequence them. So you can freeze a pitched tail and then you can step sequence it. It has like literally, it has LEDs and then you can tap in the tempo, and then you can pitch each individual step sequence. So you can just freeze the tail and then make it do fucking arpeggios and riffs out of
Or
reverb.
like just harmonize yourself with reverbs and shit like
So
that.
one note is just looping in
Yeah.
for eternity, and then you can just make it do
That
shit.
is
You can also
that is so sick. That's like kind of my favorite way to practice improvisation is just like over like a single note
a
hum.
drone or some
Yeah,
sort of,
yeah.
yeah, of course. So this with the synths is going to be next level. And then I love the idea. Already the first thing I did when I came home was I grabbed the Volante, I threw it in a send from the Apollo, and then I took the JCM 800 from the Archetype Nolly, I ran it out. I'm like, okay, let's see what a plug-in sounds like through the hardware. And I was like, gosh, it's so
Yeah.
fucking
I mean, the
sick.
neural stuff is just insanely huge for
You know, it's
plugins
crazy, and I
anyway.
knew it was going to be sick to use like hybrid with those plugins because Plenty and I were shooting some video last summer. We did a clinic together in the city, and then we were at Sheet Happens shooting some videos for them. And Plenty had his laptop with an audio interface, and like it was like his plugin was brand new. We're trying to figure out how we can both jam um, out of this cabinet. I had my AX8 and a power amp, and Plenty only had his laptop rig and an audio interface. And I'm like, how are we going to hear you in the room? So what we did was we took the Archetype Plenty, turned the cab sim off, then just routed the output out the audio interface into the Seymour Duncan power amp and then into a cabinet. So yes, you're hearing this right. Guitar goes into the audio interface, into the neural plugin, so in a laptop, then cab sim off, out into a real world Seymour Duncan power amp, and then into the 212
Yeah, I
cabinet.
mean, at that point, it's just serving as your X fix at that point. Yeah.
It was fucking sick. I was like, oh my God, yes, Doug has absolutely done it because
Yeah.
it behaved so well. It wasn't noisy. It wasn't weird, phasey, fucked up or something like that. Sometimes that shit can happen
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, so
It was
I
so
was
good.
talking with Bob from Fit for a King, who he doesn't tour with the band anymore. Um,
Okay.
he hasn't for a while, just because he
Okay.
he has a family and stuff. But they just did that live concert, and he had to play, and it was his first time ever with in ears because he hasn't played with the band in years. And
Shit.
as all guitar players with in ears, especially for me, I hate the tone in it.
Really?
I hate it, dude. I hate it so much.
I spent a long time making sure that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I need to do it more.
It's very possible.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's very possible.
Well, so what he
IRs.
did for his uh his live stream was STL tones straight into
Oh,
his in ears, and he said it
great.
was just like insane.
It would be.
Yeah, yeah, right. So it's just there. I think
Studio
plugins
quality.
are becoming more of a powerful tool than even people intended it to be.
Yeah. Yeah, we run our ears in full stereo, guitars and everything. So there's space for everything. The drum kit's in stereo, 32 inputs of stereo. So we and X32's got it mixed for our ears, and then obviously the unmixed splits go to the front of house.
Yep. Same. Yep.
Everyone's on the app and stuff. Yeah.
Same.
Um, we love it. We freighted our whole rig over to Europe last summer. We had it to download, saved our life. I mean, we had a 10-minute throw and go at one of the biggest festival appearances we've ever had. My in-ears were fucking dialed. We were up in like 7 minutes and standing there waiting for the thumbs up at one of the most intense throw and goes we've
Whew.
ever had.
Yeah.
Chilling. Like, I was just like, do we go? And this is like,
Yeah.
you got 3 minutes. I'm like,
I've flown our in-ear rig to Europe twice now. It's built to where it slides into three. Like we have our home rack, and it's three
but
sections.
you can bust it out.
It slides into Pelicans and it should be like 2 minutes, but it always gets stuck, and I have to,
We did a modular. We did two SKB cases that have power cons. So in the A rig, you put one on top of the other. You connect that big thing that looks like a hose.
Yeah, yeah.
And you go just and it both turn on together.
God.
So we have power con. Well, shout out to Chase because my friend of house dude Chase is just the fucking man, and he built me the sickest rig. Because for the longest time, everyone was like, "We got to get on ears, and I was like, "I'm not doing it until it's proper. I'm
Yeah,
not fucking doing
yeah.
this budget ear shit. I watch too many bands scream at each other at sound check. I'm not doing it. We can fucking exist on wedges until we absolutely have to. Let me get the fucking scratch together, and then we'll buy a proper rig." So I invested in a rig, no looking back. Ours is modular to where we can take one half of it and we can, we brought it to Mexico. We've brought it with us before. It is a little bit cumbersome.
Yeah, but I mean,
So we freight it when we can. So we freighted it to Europe. It goes on a pallet. I think it went over with Billy Talent's gear, 3 Days Grace's gear or something. They were doing festivals too. So it all just gets strapped up to a pallet at a place that does the musical equipment stuff, like out by the airport here. Boom, they fire that off.
oh, we just
net
put it in like a tank of a
there.
case and do it as a
Oh, we've flown enough of our own things before,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah. Fucking right, man. Well, plenty of nerdy shit. I could talk gear for fucking ages.
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
I know.
like
Yeah, I know.
I ordered a sit stand desk. That's the shit I'm really excited about. It's a sit stand desk that has rack space in it. It's all my entire scenario will go high enough to stand and low enough to sit cross-legged on the
Like
floor.
with everything in the rack, or does the rack?
Yes. Yes. I
Weird.
told him again, I don't like buying half-ass things, so I'll just wait and suffer until I can get the proper thing. Obviously, a desk like that is not cheap. I was looking at maybe doing an Argosy, but they're very, very expensive. So there's a company in California called AZ Studios, and they do some really, really nice studio pieces. And it's got like a motor that's got like digital presets in it, so you can just hold your finger on it and set it wherever, and then you can just set the presets for the various heights.
I'm
So
waiting.
it'll
I'm
have
waiting
like,
for like the Silicon Valley moment where it just starts moving on its own, like while
oh
you're.
my god, yeah, oh yeah, just wait, it goes
Yeah.
right up to the ceiling. Crashes all of my shit just through the fucking ceiling.
just pile drives your monitor into your
Yeah,
attic. Oh my
I can't wait for
god.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for my iMac to just fall over because
I'm
anyway.
I'm crying. I can't.
Yeah,
Hold
so
on.
I gotta. You can customize aspects of them and stuff. So it's actually just 2 you on either side. So it's only 4 you in total.
And people are blowing
Um,
up the chat about where that's from. Say it. AZ Studios.
AZ Studios, yeah, and it's the Elite Sit Stand Desk. And Art is his name, and he will make you custom things. If there's something about it you'd like to change, you can. For me, my only need was power conditioner and Apollo on the left, and I'm putting the rack ears and taking the feet off the Waza, and that'll go on the right side. So it'll be on this wall, and where I am currently now is going to be some metal shelving, like metal racks for my amps. So
Yeah,
they'll go
yeah, yeah.
up towards the ceiling, and then I'll display pedals and guitars next to it. So that's what this will be. And then it's like almost 7 feet wide and it's about 31 inches deep. So it's going to move me back quite a bit, but I'm going to treat the space a little bit. And then, yeah, I'll be able to like sit on the ground cross legged or sit with a fucking yoga ball because I have a shot back. Or I
Whoa.
can sit in this, or I can stand, which is going to be the vibe for the majority of the day. My biggest pet peeve with quarantine and just with everything going on is waking up and sitting down. I don't like getting out of bed and then sitting.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I want to be on my feet all day. I have a slightly herniated disc from fucking playing guitar in a chair for too long and playing guitar my whole life and just postural things and stuff, of course. And I probably didn't help that once the gyms were open again, I got excited and I tried to move a lot of weight off the floor with the fucking trap bar. But
Mm,
that wasn't what did it, but it definitely attributed to it. So I'm having to work on some postural things. This is the longest I've sat in a very long time.
I've never like done anything like that at a like when I think of a stand desk and people are like raving about it and right now and
Everyone says sitting is the new smoking. Well, it's true though. I just hate the way that's framed.
I mean
But it's true
yeah,
though.
but like I'm the
Sitting will
opposite.
fuck you up.
I work
Oh,
full time.
on your feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, coffee and
yeah,
other things. Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Um.
Yeah, no, I need to be standing. I have to do it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
shoulder
yeah.
posture and stuff with the guitar on and everything. There's just
I'm
more
so bad
ability
about it,
to-
dude. And I'm really bad about like I won't even use my fret indicators on the top of the neck. I'm always the guy that like
Oh, yeah, you
breaks
gotta be
his
careful with
body
that.
to see. I know, man.
I had to do it. I had to do Cairo and fix my fucking cervical because my neck was so fucked from years of just being so forward dominant. So yeah, and my girlfriend for my birthday got me one of those Theraguns, if you know what that is. It's like one of those fucking crazy ass muscle guns.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, I fucking live for that thing every
Yeah,
day, man. But
that's
I
sick.
hate getting out of bed and sitting. So, being able to move the desk and you see people are blowing up your chat because there's a lot of people that struggle with this. And yeah,
Well, now, yeah, it's like everyone's working from home now, and it's just
it's fucking
so-
sucks, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's something I treated myself to. I said when the album's done, I'm getting a fucking sit stand desk. I'm changing the vibe up in here. So I can't wait.
Well, so fitness is important to you. Let's tail away from music as a whole. You know what I mean?
Sure.
What like is there stuff you do on tour? I mean, did you just try to find gyms and stuff like that, or like
I
what?
mean, fuck yeah. Jacob and I were probably 5 to 6 days a week.
Well,
We just get up. The vibe is just, which if one of us is up before the other, we kick each other out of our bunk and get it going.
it's
You
super
do it
nice to
too.
have that
We do
person
it
on
too.
tour who like holds you accountable. It's
Yeah, and I mean, we would do it without each other regardless. But and if we can't find one, then we have weights in the trailer and we just do a prison workout. So, but yeah, it was really important. And like, I was the most dialed on tour because like you're just on your feet all day. You're exerting at the show, so you get like 2 workouts a day.
yeah. I
Um,
try to explain to people how insane cardio playing a show is.
yeah, it's mad endurance. I mean, just also your metabolism is just fucking revved like the whole time. Like your calories are under unless you're really fucking staying on top of it. There's no way so you get shredded.
And then
Like
you
unless
finish that one show and you're starving and the only thing open is like one Mediterranean pizza place with like one slice left. I hate those
yeah,
nights so
but you
much, dude.
earned it. But you fucking earned it though.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like, I don't know. I go like once every week or week and a half to a Whole Foods. I also tweak my rider to suit my needs.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like organic, like free range rotisserie chicken every day, fruit, vegetables. We do like nuts and hummus, dark chocolate, um, coconut water, fresh fruit. I'm making smoothies, like
What's the most
living.
like wild health thing that you're all about?
Mm,
There's got to be something weird that like
I
not
have a,
everyone's.
I have a near infrared light that I stand in front of like for 15 minutes in the morning, like butt naked.
That's the one. That's weird, and you know it's weird.
Um,
Why?
that
Why
one
do you do
or
that?
oh, photo biomodulation or whatever it's called is extremely healthy. Um, I mean, to play in with the title of my album, it helps align your circadian. So it's the type of light that your eyes and your brain should be seeing first thing in the morning, not your fucking phone. Get your phone away from your face. Stop it. Everybody knock it off. Um, Wake up. And of course, if the sun is out, that's great because that's what you really need. But
Well,
I
so
live in a
right
place
is
where,
that okay? Is you're basically supplementing your UV, but I guess it's
yeah, but
not.
it's more than that. So that's the impact that it has on your brain is calibrating your, it sets the stage for the entire day, um, from a brain health standpoint. But no, near infrared light has other impacts. So, um, it stimulates collagen production, so it's really healthy for your hair, skin, nails, all that stuff. It also enhances ATP production at a mitochondrial level, so it stimulates the growth and of new cells, and it also creates energy at the cellular level. So it's like charging your fucking batteries, basically. It feels amazing. I combine it with standing on like one of those mats that has like the spikes in it. So I'll get some good circulation in the feet, or I'll use like a lacrosse ball or a golf ball in the bottoms of my feet, something to just kind of like get blood flowing and like work on my arches or like do something. Maybe I'll throw my AirPods in and do like a guided meditation, or maybe I'll listen to a podcast if I don't really feel like doing something like super, super intense. But that's kind of how I try to start my day.
You said
I
only
have
for
a juice.
15 minutes though, right?
Yeah, 15 to 20
See,
minutes.
that's
Yeah.
not to call it weird in like a negatory sense. Just like I'm so I believe all that stuff so
Mm.
wholeheartedly, and I like knowing all the different ways that people because that's the future, bro. You know, like you're implementing your own sunlight
Yeah,
and
biohacking.
yeah,
Biohacking. Yeah, I mean, that's not, it probably isn't the weirdest thing that I do now that I think about it, but and then there's other like benefits like hormonal health and things like that. So,
yeah.
AKA why you stand in front of it naked, because it's just really healthy for you. It's good. Anyway, and it also increases nitric oxide and blood flow, circulation, and all the things that you want.
So
So why would you want that?
have you watched that Netflix show with Zac Efron? You know, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but I keep hearing
Okay.
about it. I haven't watched that one.
It's like not his show. That's like the whole
Yeah,
thing. It's like the
yeah.
superfood health nut that he
Mm-hmm.
travels with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I know about all that stuff. If you guys are interested in things like this, you should all follow Ben Greenfield. He's a great resource for things like this for biohacking. There's a lot of people. Paul Stamets would be another one. And Paul is the owner of a company called Host Defense, and he's probably the biggest proponent for mycelial research, aka the study of mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms. Not just the ones that you think of when you think about mushrooms, but all the other ones like reishi and cordyceps and maitake and turkey tail and all these things, and lion's mane for neurological health and these types of stuff.
Dude, I met a
So
guy.
yeah,
I met a guy who came into my coffee shop the other day. He's from Portland. He has family here, but he's
yeah, of course he's from
doing. Yeah,
Portland.
of course, yeah. But
Hmm.
he has a fungus farm, and
Yeah, and he's
now,
probably making the
well,
stuff.
now he's doing like fresh farm to table rehabilitation. Like it's just like
Yeah,
all it's so
it's
sick.
I do it every 2 days or every 3 days. So that would so what I was saying, the UV light is probably not the weirdest thing that I do. I do microdose, which is unbelievable for anxiety and depression and overall focus and just neurological benefits, especially if you're rehabbing an injury or doing things like this. These are the
Microdosing
things
to
that
the
help
point of you're not
non-psych
even. Yeah, yeah, okay,
non-psychological.
yeah.
Yeah. You can take it there. You just have to understand how to dose. It's in capsules, so it's not like you're not taking the physical material, which is a crapshoot because that physical material can contain a big giant chunk of potent material in it, or maybe it's just like, oh, it's whatever.
Right, yeah.
So this is controlled, and it's also stacked with other things. So it's stacked with lion's mane, which is a mushroom that helps for neurological rehabilitation and growth. Um, it's the anti-Alzheimer's one. It's the one that if anyone was going to go to their local health food apothecary and get something for their brain health or for neurological health, lion's mane is the one that you want to be taking. Um, but when you combine that with psilocybin and vitamin B3 and things that are in that protocol, you do it every 2 days or every 3 days. It's unbelievable for mental clarity, focus, stops you from ruminating and worrying about the things that trouble you, keeps your brain moving forward, helps you resolve emotions and things that that you might have you might be struggling to get over. Um, it's amazing on so many fronts. It's like the nature's little fix for the things that ail you, I promise. And you can do the research. You don't have to just like listen to me. You can do the research. There's a
Right,
ton
yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
out there. And what else? I mean, I bought a juicer. I did like, every once in a while I'll do like a pretty heavy liver cleanse,
Yeah,
celery
I need to
juice and
do
stuff
that
like that.
stuff because I enjoy eating like shit too.
Yeah, I mean, and just in general, like regardless, I mean, we come in contact with so many things that we like our modern society. Unfortunately, there's so much exposure to things like estrogenic compounds and things that are in a lot of the products that we use. Obviously you can tailor your cosmetic regimen to make sure that there's none of this. Like if you're still using a deodorant or a antiperspirant that has aluminum in it, like what are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, because
It's
that
2020.
shit can get in
Stop.
your brain too, bro.
In your liver and your brain in a
Yeah,
lot of places, and then there's a lot of problems that can come from that. You do not want that. We want metal. We don't want heavy metals in the body. We just don't do that. So
God damn it.
um don't do it. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we can fix. Of course, exposure to things like our local tap water still has like excessive amounts of fluoride and things that are not healthy for your endocrine system. You can very easily put a charcoal filter on your shower head. You can get a better jug for your filter for your water than the Brita. Brita still leaves a bunch of crap in it. You can get one called Clearly Filtered. I think is the one that I have.
Bro,
It's worth investing
my
in.
entire coffee shop's building is on this like complete.
Distilled, filtered.
We just choose the exact minerals we want in our waters.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's yeah, absolutely. And then, just like your basic stuff, like a lot of people don't get enough of all of the essential, like, take a damn multivitamin. Just get a good one. Don't get the
No,
crappy one.
yeah, yeah.
Take a good one. Get a probiotic, keep it in the fridge, take it with a meal. It's not bad for you. If anything, it's better for you. And people always think, oh, like gut health. Well, gut health is brain health. They're one and the same, and then they both equate to immune health. And if you aren't doing things for your immune system with what's going on right now, you owe that to yourself. Vitamin D3, 5,000 IU a day, zinc, magnesium. these are things that you can definitely get from your diet, but we should be supplementing with. You should be taking a fish oil unless you're vegan. You should be taking omegas for your brain. There's no reason you shouldn't. I know this stuff all sounds like I'm telling you the thing that maybe your mom tells you every day or whatever, but like there's a reason people care about these
there's
things.
a reason
I
people keep
promise
saying
there
it.
was a massive difference in my quality of life once I started caring about how I eat, when I eat, these types of things, what I eat, the quality of what I eat. It's something that's really important to me, especially on tour, especially when we're beating on ourselves out there, and sleep is, you know, unpredictable, especially on international runs. I went to India, and other than one other guy in my camp, everybody got really, really sick. My body showed me signs that it might want to be, and I swear, like immune health, man, like being able to like
Yeah.
really get a handle on that stuff
I get sick
goes a
every
really.
freaking tour, dude. I really do need to. I'm gonna
I'll give
pick.
you a little rundown on
Yeah, I'm gonna pick your
some
brain
basic stuff.
after the. We'll stay in
Yeah,
touch about some stuff.
absolutely. I'll give you a good rundown. And then, yeah, I mean, adaptogens are also great, like in lieu of taking things like pharmaceuticals. Adaptogens being
Well,
herbs that.
I literally see. I take a very like, like a very caveman like approach to everything. I'm like, if I just don't do anything or ingest anything ever, I'll be fine.
Well, there's some things that your body does need, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
I know.
no, there's a lot of great like fixes for certain things. Like if you're struggling with sleep, or you're struggling with focus, you're struggling with um, you know, depression and anxiety, or hormonal imbalances, or whatever. Like there are answers that don't come from your allopathic doctor. I promise. There's a lot of great stuff you can get at an apothecary, your local health food store. You just have to put the time in to do the research. And yeah, I mean, this stuff makes a huge difference, especially like if we're talking about creatives, artists, musicians, like try a fucking nootropic, try microdosing. Like if you really want to level up, like I
God damn
promise
it!
I'm not,
Why do you have to say it that way?
I mean, dude,
We're just be like Mario, bro. Eat that mushroom, level up. Like, you have to say it that way.
yeah,
I
I
agree.
mean,
I agree with you.
look at my album cover.
It's trippy for sure.
Yeah, Colin from Circus Survive made that, and he is very much a proponent of everything I'm telling you about. So
Okay.
we're
That's
very
sick.
much on the same page with that, which is where it came from.
I really want to touch more. Like I want to live in a futuristic, science-driven world and community,
Mm.
and but I want to. I don't want to lose everything that we evolved from because I feel like
Well,
that
this
was
is the
just
freaky
such
thing
a
with the biohacking, but I think it's just about bringing it into your life in moderation to supplement the things that we don't have. So I live in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, where we're on our way to like dark all the time, like not gonna have sun for a while. Like for me, it's like, yeah, you can take 5,000 IU of vitamin D every day, but dietary vitamin D and exposure to light in your
two
retinas
very
and
different things. Yeah.
on your tissues and things, yeah, very different things. So one of my previous naturopaths and holistic practitioners recommended the Juve, which is the product, in case you guys are wondering about this red light, JOOVV. Um, and you can check out all the science on that. She recommended that. I was struggling with sleep, and I was struggling with energy and things like that. And whew, it makes a huge difference. It's so great. And you just feel good when you bask in it. It just feels really good.
I just boof like
Um,
4 coffees in the morning.
yeah, or that, or you can do that. Actually, coffee enema is actually a thing.
I know.
That's a
It's
colon cleanse.
yeah. But I'm gonna
That's really good.
I'm gonna say boof because
Okay, both. Okay.
that's a lot more cultured.
Yeah, coffee enema of the state? No? Okay. Um, yeah. Boof is cultured. I'm going to say boof because it's a little more cultured. Sean Price, 2020.
Quote.
Unbelievable. So yeah. Biohacking just in moderation, of course, just to supplement the things that you don't already have.
Well, so what else are you biohacking? Like, is that the only thing I've heard is the red light?
Yeah, like that, and then just of course like trying when I can to take my shoes off and put my feet like bare on the ground.
Okay, so
like
one of the things that
earthing.
really there's an episode of that show where they fly to like Norway or something, and the guy was like, just not feeling very good, and he was like, pull the car over. I have to put my bare feet on that grass over there.
Yeah.
And he was
Hmm.
adamant about it. And ever since then, I've been like, I know that shit's real. Cause like,
It is. It is. We're supposed to. That's how we're supposed to be. Like,
yeah.
we're born of this thing around us, and we're so detached from it. You know, there's literally a song on my record called "Earthing." That's the whole concept. Like, and it plays into this concept of circadian, which we are completely detached from as well. Especially if you're an insomniac or you're struggling with like certain things. The
What
answer is
what do you wish
realigning
you could do
yourself.
more of in that regard? Like, what is the guru Aaron of the future going to be doing to be all healthy?
Completely mitigate any exposure to estrogens and phytoestrogens in
Okay,
the
just like all the
water
toxic
and
bullshit that our
yeah, just to just
the
to
baby boomers poisoned us with during the war
just
era.
just clean it up. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. But just to clean it up, you know, more farm to table, ethically raised, organic. I'm
I'm
not.
trying to get that way. Just like I really want to get my own chickens and grow my own shit. That's like one of my big things.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to do it, or just developing a relationship with a local farm, or you know, maybe shopping at a grocer that
Because I live in a perfect
has some of
place.
those things.
I live in the
Yes, you do.
sticks. Yeah.
I don't live too far from stuff like that. I mean, I live in Toronto
Well, that's
proper.
what's
I'm like,
funny about Canada. It's
you
like you
know,
go literally 20 miles in any
it's
direction.
not that far from, yeah,
Yeah.
you can get, I can drive like 40 minutes, maybe not even like 30 minutes, and I'm at farms. So, yeah, like stuff like that. And then, it's been challenging because I was really on track. And then with, of course, with the way everything unfolded, taking the gyms away and stuff, it really changed my ability to stay on top of my progress. So that sucked. And before that, leading into that, I was doing a lot of cold exposure, like the cold plunges, like 2 3 minute.
Dude, I get pissed off when I get sprayed with something cold on a hot day.
No,
Like
so
my
there's a
body
difference
is
between being surprised by that and then
no,
there's a
but
difference
like
between.
I like you don't understand. On a hot summer day, I even have a hard. It takes me like 30 minutes to get in a pool because it's so
Oh,
shocking to my. I have like a weird. I've been told that that's a redhead thing, that we're just freak mutants and we have like
I've not heard that. Is there what?
so
That's
that
a weird one.
there's like a handful of things that I've been told my whole life. Like it takes more
Like from it. Oh, that I've heard about. Wow, so it's a genetic thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it takes more anesthesia to
Yeah.
knock me out, which is true. I've only been knocked
So
out.
you're an ox.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't fight Sean about it.
I've only been knocked out once. It was for my wisdom teeth. This is just
Yeah,
a hilarious story.
they had to fuck you up.
And they're like, count down from 10. And I was like, okay, 2, 1. And I was just looking at them like, and they were like, are you okay? I was like, yeah.
That's a hell of a fucking thing, actually.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then they were like, okay, well, we're going to up it. And I think I was sitting there for like 3 minutes, dude. Like you're supposed to count down from 10 and you're out, right?
Yeah, and
I'm
they
sitting
couldn't
there
get
and I'll never forget. I said, why do they call it laughing gas? And before I could finish that word, I was like the
They got
Joker.
you.
I was the Joker.
Oh.
I was conscious and I was just laughing and I couldn't do it. And like they were like, what is wrong with this fucking dude? And then I woke up 5 days later. Yes, you heard that right.
What? 5 days, my guy.
I was like playing a video game on my couch, but then I just came to, and I was like,
Crazy.
yeah, we
So
get
the cold exposure thing, yeah, like I mean, people who follow Matt Halpern probably have seen he's got the ice barrel going and he's been doing it. There was a place here in the city that was doing it. They had a cold tub and then infrared sauna. You go from the cold tub into the infrared sauna.
okay.
Infrared
Yeah,
sauna
yeah.
is the UV light in a hot box. So it's the dry sauna with the infrared. Which is incredible. But cold exposure is fucking unbelievable. I mean, that's the leanest I've been because it helps to metabolize adipose tissue. So if that
Yeah.
little bit left, you want that off, that's a really, really,
Force your
really good way
body
to
to
do
burn
it.
it. Yeah.
But then, of course, yeah, so it revs your metabolism,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But then it also has so many other effects like the NRF1 pathway gets activated. There's like cell autophagy that goes on, the metabolic stuff. There's for brain health. It's crazy. Anti-Alzheimer's. It has like the same effects as like squatting heavy weight, which also has a an adverse effect on brain health, like Alzheimer's and things like that. Training your legs. Um, Exposure to sub-zero cold for 2 to 3 minutes, like in that sweet
Ugh,
spot. Same thing in the brain. It's
weird.
crazy. Yeah. So a lot of really interesting stuff. I
Yeah,
love
this
all
this
that shit
podcast
though.
just got a lot closer to Joe Rogan's
Yeah.
within the last like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
I do too,
And yeah,
though. I think a lot of people are like, we're in the
starting to
health
get hip
movement right
to
now. There's a reason Whole Foods is booming, even though they charge more for their stuff. Like it's like
I shop. I was just at one. I drive 20 minutes just to get to one because like I don't want to go elsewhere, and I like
the
what
only
I
place
can.
I shop now is we got like if you know what a Publix is, grocery store.
We don't have them in Canada, but I've
Right.
toured America
Yeah.
enough to know what Publix is.
So Publix has its own Whole Foods. It's called Greenwise. It's just their completely organic grocery store. That's all we.
Okay.
It's the closest grocery store to me now. That's all I shop at. It's awesome.
Yeah, that stuff's important, man. If you use your brain, if you're a creative, if you're in your head every single day doing what we do, or you could be a graphic designer, you could be into marketing, you could do whatever. If
If
you're
you
not
if you talk
just
to yourself as much as we do, if like that's the best way to
you
word
owe it
that.
to yourself to
Yeah.
keep it all well oiled up there, trust me. Um and yeah, that's I love that stuff. And I think that everything in moderation, of course, I'm not doing a lot of these things religiously. They're part of my routine. I bring them in and out. My girlfriend's really into this stuff. She's in her final year of kinesiology
That
and she's working
helps.
in a
Yeah.
physio clinic, and like we're very much on the same wavelength. We find it fascinating. She's always like, "Oh, know about this? Check this out. This whatever. Heard about this." We're always bringing things to each other. One of the very first things we did, like within a few, probably not even 2 months of knowing each other, was I took her for a cold soak, and which is like a very intense thing to do with a new partner. And
Yeah.
I mean, she absolutely loved it. You wouldn't just spring that on anybody. We're very much into those things. It's something that she wanted to try. I had found a place. I had experimented with it. It's unbelievable. She did so great with it. It was amazing, and we were getting ready to do more of them. And then this all unfolded, and we
Yeah.
haven't been able to
Yeah.
do all that stuff. And they took the gym off us and everything. And and then we got the gym back, and then now we've actually reverted back into another phase of lockdown here, where the gyms and indoor dining got shut for 28 days minimum. So we're waiting until November 7th at the minimum to find out if they're going to open again.
God, dude.
Um, so yeah, so
Meanwhile,
I've
I
just
live
been
in a
doing.
place where like obviously like there's so many people who don't even wear masks. Life feels normal
Oh,
here, even though people are just dropping like
no,
flies.
that is not the case here, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah, I know.
You would be reprimanded for not wearing a mask in public.
I tell you what, though,
99.9% of people are wearing a mask.
I got
Yeah.
it. I got COVID.
My guy, what was that like?
It sucked. It's shitty. I don't recommend. Obviously,
Do you? So you guys' contact tracing isn't very good though. Do you know where you got it?
yeah. My dad works at a hospital. His coworker got sick around the same time. I mean, that's like,
Did your dad get it?
yep.
So you got it from your dad.
Yeah, I think so. um,
Wow, that's a very unfortunate. How's your father?
he's great. He handled it better than I did, I think. Which
What were their
my
symptoms?
dad is an ox. Like if we want to talk about people who just
I'll fucking
withstand,
bet.
yeah.
I'll fucking bet. Wow. So just bedridden for a minute, or like what?
So really shitty flu, like really really shitty flu for about 5 days, and then
And you tested
three.
positive for this thing. You know you had it for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Fuck, man.
Then about 3 weeks of really shitty respiratory just stamina, and dude, the worst part about any of it were the body aches.
That's your immune system. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know how like you feel after you just possibly maybe you go back to the gym too hard and you do a deadlift and your
Yeah, no,
entire body.
you had like eternal DOMs.
Yeah,
For
like I went
yeah,
back to
it's-
work within the quarantine period. Like I went back into quarantine for 2 weeks, and then I started going back to work. And someone would just
your
pass
muscle soreness
behind
was-
me and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
excuse me," and tap me on the back. It felt like someone just full force.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
rough, dude. But
Yeah.
I don't live in as much fear as I did because like I'm good now. Like I still take all precautions to take care of those around me and stuff.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
I know of people like from the touring world and people who, and just some friends and stuff that have had it, of course. It's crazy here because the majority is the nursing homes. It's not really as much community spread, even though they fucking shut us down for 16 weeks, dude. You couldn't do anything here. You couldn't do fucking anything. Now the difference is I live in a country where the total population is equivalent to the state of California. Canada is 38 million or whatever we are,
Yeah,
36
yeah, yeah,
million or
yeah.
whatever. California is more than us.
No, I know. It's insane.
So everybody got paid to stay home. If you qualified and you didn't have to do much to qualify, the Canadian government was shilling out $2,100 a month or whatever it was to fucking stay home.
So when I
So
tested positive, I like had to be like I was basically in like a bubble, right? Like people
yeah.
had to drop groceries off
Yeah,
at my
no,
front
but
door.
it's what you got to do. I
Yeah,
mean, I've
yeah.
heard of it happening to people, or even if you have potential exposure. We actually have an app. We have a COVID app. It doesn't work the way you think it does. Everyone was all like, "Oh, the government." It doesn't work like that. It actually just uses
It's
Bluetooth to ping phones around you. So it's your responsibility if you've been exposed or tested positive to put it in your phone. And when
yeah.
you come near somebody who has had it or has been near it, you get a notification that you're near somebody. It's not the government collecting information and pinging it off like GPS with a satellite or like however that shit works. It's not like that. It works like a network between devices. So it's your responsibility if you've had it or been exposed to put it in your phone. And then I get notifications often that be like, you weren't exposed to COVID this week.
You just
Or
get
like you can
oh god, weird, man. It's so weird.
it's a little weird, but at least we have contact tracing is unreal here. You'll get a phone call from a doctor and just be like, you have to stay home for 14 days. You've been exposed.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
you go get a test and then you test negative and then you call your work and you're like, I tested negative, but I've been exposed. And they're like, cool, you're see you in 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah.
They take it really, really seriously here. It's just, it just is what it is. But anyhow, that's really unfortunate. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, I'm really. I do not think there's any long lasting effects unless you have pre existing conditions. But
Uh, unfortunately, the science may differ on that.
really,
Might prove otherwise. There's some stuff we should talk health after. Yeah, let's
yeah,
talk about a few things that I think now would be the time to implement. I'm not trying to not to freak you out. You're gonna be fine. You're a young, healthy guy. You kicked it. It would just be a really good time to ensure that all cylinders are firing properly. Micronutrients should definitely be something that you want to make sure you're topped up on. At least just be taking a multivitamin and take some omegas. Keep the brain running good. Keep all the get the raw materials in there for
yeah. I
like
need
the
to do the omega anyway because I'm closer ever than ever before to a vegan diet now too.
oh yeah,
And that's
so
just something that it's so hard to get within our diet naturally.
right. So yeah, amongst other things like B12 and like some really, really crucial, and then
Yeah.
like all of the fat soluble vitamins like vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin D. This is the thing, right? Like when I start talking about biohacking and like health conscious things and stuff, and then people are like, "Oh, so you're vegan?" And I'm like, "No, it doesn't mean
Yeah,
that."
you're like the polar opposite. Yeah.
No, I mean I'm not carnivore. I'm an omnivore, but my whole thing is organically, ethically raised animals that are as close to what you would find in the wild if you were to have to fend for yourself. That should be the vibe.
Someone just said, "How can I hire Aaron as a nutritionist?"
I'm not I'm not currently doing consulting, but we can figure it
I
out.
don't know, man. You got to name a price first, you know.
Yeah, when the whole fucking music thing tanks, I'll we'll figure it out. But yeah, so I don't know, man.
No, but like I already have that knowledge. I'm not just the guy who tries to be vegan.
Yeah, and regardless of that or
Yeah.
anything, like it's just we only age in one direction, so it's like now's the time to be accountable for those things, especially if you are eating close to vegan. There's some things that I would definitely make sure that you're continuing to get into your diet. You can get vegan D3. You can get there are vegan alternatives to the fat soluble vitamins I'm describing, like the tocopherols that make up all of the vitamin E's and vitamin A, and you can get pre-methylated B's and B12 and all that stuff without having to get eating animal products or consuming. It is certainly possible. I'm not a proponent for the vegan diet just because it gets to be really challenging to patch in the things that you're not getting. So your supplement regimen goes up. You have to be a lot more careful with certain things. Genetic predisposition to certain types of diets and lifestyles are not necessarily
Yeah,
things that I would
luckily
recommend fucking
the
with. Like,
whole new wave, and this goes back to like all the shit that they put into all of our things that we're consuming, like the amount of gluten intolerances that have skyrocketed and lactose intolerances that have skyrocketed.
yeah,
Like,
and like, I mean, just like, really at the end of the day, it's like these processed. I think the biggest thing is vegetable oils and seed oils. So when you look at a packaged good, typically the third, fourth, maybe fifth ingredient is going to be like canola oil or vegetable oil or some sort of like hydrogenated seed oil. These are the things that are hurting you the most. It's not the artificial sweeteners as much. It's not the gums like the xanthan gums and these things, these binders and things that help preserve. It's vegetable oils, because
which sounds super
polyunsaturated,
harmless. You know what I mean?
they sound
Yeah.
vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
oh,
this is
sick.
yeah, but polyunsaturated fats, or they were referred to as PUFAs. Sometimes you see it written that way. Polyunsaturated fats are have an unstable molecular bond. This is why they tell you not to heat certain fats and oils, because what happens is when you break apart an unstable polyunsaturated fat molecule, it wreaks havoc in the body. It becomes a free radical, and it's looking for something to stabilize its bond because it's now broken off inside you, and it's pulling from raw materials from your organs.
That just sounds
This
like
is what
cancer.
it it's leading to, and it's leading to the downregulation of all of your systems. It starts with fucking with the stomach lining, and then it moves into other organ tissues. Um, it's the thing that's killing your energy and your, fucking with your hormones and do it like it's the stuff you don't want in your body. If you took one thing out, if you learned one thing from this, stop eating packaged foods that contain polyunsaturated fats. Um, Unfortunately, the thing that people aren't going to like about it is everything in your cupboard has it. So
Yeah.
unless you're shopping properly or eating like single origin, like foods that, like, things like snacking on nuts and carrots, and like having things that are like as close to like regular food. And I'm not talking about packaged nuts, not Planters peanuts that are covered in these oils that make them stay on the shelf longer and things like that. No, yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to do. But if you can find the foods that you really like and tweak your lifestyle, you feel a bajillion times better,
Wow.
and you're going to see it in your skin, and you're going to sleep better, and all these kind of things. Like, you can clean up all these like chronic ailments just from fixing these types of things. This podcast has completely descended
I love it.
into to this, whatever this is. Um, but it's like the biggest thing that I tweaked in my regiment, and I
You can attest
make
for it.
exceptions. I make exceptions because we still have to live. We still have to have
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
So every once in a while, you
It's
have
a
a little
fight. It's a
treat.
fight. It's a battle. You know what I mean?
But like the thing is if you're good the majority of the time,
Yeah,
most of the
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
So like, you have a little cheat on Saturday every other week, or um, and trust me, I'm still eating a lot of food. I still eat my calories. I
Uh,
eat giant, big, delicious meals. I'm just
yeah,
omitting
yeah,
certain things. I'm just not eating packaged things. That's what's up.
yeah. Well, one of the topics that we always cover is food because I've really got what helps me is I cook a lot now. So as long as I'm
Oh yeah,
conscious of ingredients,
yeah, man. I mean,
do you cook a lot of your meals or do you get to cook?
it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Usually start off with something really simple, like I'll do, if I'm really not feeling making anything, there's no drive or ambition, I'll just make a smoothie.
Yeah. I
So
went through my smoothie phase.
yeah,
I get tired of them so fast.
frozen fruit, I use a really good hydrolyzed beef protein powder. It's chocolate, but it's made from hydrolyzed beef, so it's essentially collagen. It's not whey because whey fucks with me. So I take a lot of
Yeah, because
collagen
whey is so
in
hairy, high in dairy, and it came out hairy.
dip. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, so it just kind of depends. I think a lot of people it fucks with a lot of people, and they just care not to admit it. But certain products that contain like really good isolated clean whey, which is they're very expensive to get pharmaceutical grade, um like from a bodybuilding shop or something like that. More often than not, the whey products are gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
So I just always keep a tub of this protein. It's absolutely delicious. It's my favorite thing. I look forward to it every day. I'll even just shake it up on its own with some coconut water. But yeah, like cup of oats, or half a cup of oats, frozen fruit. Use like a really good honey, because it's like really quality honey is antimicrobial. It's very good for you.
Dude, you would
Throw a
laugh. You
scoop of
would laugh at
protein.
my honey collection. It's like kind
Oh
of
well, there you go. Honey collection, very good.
yeah.
So yeah, so something like that, or I'll make like
Which is not
I'll
vegan
make
of me, by the way. But like I
no,
said,
but
I'm
that's
I'm close.
don't worry about
I'm
it.
a lot closer to being vegan than I used to be too.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, or I'll do like oatmeal with I keep a flavorless collagen as well. I'm always trying to make sure I get like bare minimum 20 grams of protein every meal. So I'll throw some collagen and some oats, mix some honey down in there. I like to use the PB2 like powdered peanut butter stuff. That stuff's really great rather than having like the full fat, like oily peanut butter, or I'll use an almond butter, but the powdered stuff is like crack and it tastes so good.
hmm.
So I'll just throw that in there with some honey and then I'll top it with like a mixture of nuts or some cacao nibs and nuts or some granola or something. And then lunch and dinner always resemble the same kind of thing, which is like big, clean portion of protein, chicken, turkey, salmon, steak, whatever. And then giant salad or like a couple steamed vegetables, and then potato, sweet potato, or rice, just like a clean carb.
Mm.
And then lunch and dinner are very much the same. Probably throw, if I didn't have a shake for breakfast, I'll get a shake in at some point. Maybe like a blast of juice at some point, like a really clean juice. I have a juicer, so you can do that. Or there's things that I like. There's a company from Toronto called
And
Greenhouse
you
that makes
enjoy
some amazing
coffee,
juices.
right?
Love coffee. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a Chemex, and I make myself a nice little coffee daily. While the gym is closed and I am relegated to what it is that I'm doing now, I keep things in check by intermittent fasting. So, wake up in the morning, drink a big 750 milliliter
That's
bottle
what
of
I love about
Gerolsteiner mineral
coffee is that
water,
it
and
just
then coffee.
it just slides under all these radars. It's like coffee
Yeah, I
will
mean, as long as
always
you drink
be
it black. Yeah,
right. Yes,
but
which
I
as
a lot of people get that confused.
a borderline coffee sommelier, just drink your coffee black, guys. Come on.
That's the way to have it. So yeah, so I'll like start with sparkling water, make a
Hey, let
coffee.
me send you some of our beans.
Oh, please. That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'll give you my shipping address. That'd be
Okay.
fucking sick.
Yeah, I'll get you something wild, something like
Yeah,
crazy
dude.
aromatic.
So that's kind of the vibe. Try to cut the eating off a decent time before bed. Eat within like an 8 to 10 hour window. And just keep the calories up, because you don't want your metabolism to slow down. Just because you aren't doing things doesn't mean you shouldn't eat food. Your brain still needs to run. I walk bare minimum 10,000 steps a day. That'll be what I do when I get off this podcast with you. Is I'm going for a nice big long walk. It's quarter after 9 here. I
Yeah,
like
I
to
don't
night
mean to keep you
night
so
walk.
long. This
So
one's kind of
no, it's all good,
we're
man.
tailing towards the end here.
I'll
Do
be
not fret.
impressed if anybody kept up with this and stayed. I'll be very impressed.
No,
So
people are loving it. And I think
cool.
there's a reason that like I said, Joe Rogan's podcast is like the biggest ever, and he really touches on a lot of this stuff.
I mean, yeah, we got into the weeds a little bit. You know, we talked about all the we got the pertinent things out of the way, and then
Well, and
this is just lifestyle shit. But fuck, it's important, man.
that's what I wanted this podcast to be too. It's like everyone knows us as our guitar playing personalities and band personalities and stuff, but like
Yeah.
we're so much more than that.
There's other stuff, man. Like
Yeah.
fucking, I don't know. Quarantine got weird, and I started like watching people play online chess.
No, no.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Also,
Well, okay, so
marble racing is fucking crazy. If you haven't seen that, yeah, it got weird, dude. Quarantine got weird because there's no like live, there's no more powerlifting or like any of the other stuff I was watching, and there's only so much gear demos you can watch until you realize that your fucking wallet is just like screaming in the corner, like, no, don't make me do it. So you start watching people play online chess. It gets fucking weird.
it
But
online. It just makes me feel like infantile. Like I'm just like I'm a buffoon. I'm a Neanderthal because this
it's
person.
actually insane to watch how some of these people operate. It's
Yeah,
fucking
it's like
crazy.
some of
I
these
find
people are
that
living in the fourth dimension, dude. It's like
fascinating. And I've also just been consuming a lot of podcasts, just walking a lot.
so.
Really love.
You don't play
Yeah,
any
go ahead.
video games, really, huh?
I did for when I was younger and stuff, but like, man, I didn't even turn my Switch on once during quarantine. I know that sounds fucking
It's
crazy,
crazy.
but
It is. It's wild because so
I
many people
didn't.
gravitated closer to video games after this.
No, I just made the record, and then podcasts and mobility and home workouts and hanging with my girl and watching little bits and bobs on YouTube and Netflix and um playing, obviously, and play some guitar.
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
As you should.
and shit like that. Like, what else am I into? I don't know. We always watch like some food stuff on YouTube. We fuck with Maddie Matheson and the BA Test Kitchen and fucking all that stuff. And
Well, so chess kind of became a pretty big pertinent part of Twitch as recently too.
well, yes, and this which is funny because when I announced that I was coming on here, I was like, I don't know, fucking what did I say? I said like, rate, gift a sub or something. I don't know what you fucking guys do on
Yeah,
here. I
yeah.
just watched online chess on here. I don't fucking know. I don't know how it works. Um, the other thing that's really big on Twitch is independent political media. There's actually like a lot of the information that I was getting about the American goings on with the state of things, which we aren't going to even talk about that.
That's that. I refuse to even get into that on the
No,
podcast.
but
Yeah.
like one of the biggest, my favorite sources, David Packman is amazing, and he's on Twitch, and I love his content. And the Young Turks, which is also another great like progressive independent media outlet, they stream on Twitch. They have a bunch of different like offshoots, like the Damage Report, and like a bunch of really great personalities that report on the various goings on. It has an impact on us here in Canada. So, and the world is waiting with bated breath to see what goes on in the next little while.
Yeah.
So we're gonna fucking see. I tuned out in the last couple of days. I've been following it pretty militantly, but I'm kind of giving myself a little break because I'm just fucking burnt out on
Yeah,
that crazy Oompa Loompa, and I just
it can turn you really bitter.
yeah, no, I'm not trying to do it. So,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna have that conversation. So, um, yeah, we're gonna see how she goes, and that's about that. But I went back and revisited some old guitar content that I used to watch that I was really excited about. Been, things that I've wanted to learn or things that I've neglected. Watch some cool gear demos and stuff like Rabia and Rhett Shull and
Yeah, there's so much content. Like I
Rick
said,
Beato. Fucking Uncle Rick makes the best content, so I love all his
Uncle
stuff.
Rick. He recorded my
Uncle
band when I was 16 years old.
Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I went and shot that. You told me that day that I was at his place actually.
It
And,
just blows my mind that he just became this personality and he was just this.
Rick's the fucking man though, dude.
He
Like
is. He's cool. It's cool to have because he's still he's an old head about a lot of stuff. So it's nice to actually.
yeah, but like you need that perspective. I
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
relate to him more than I relate to some younger people.
I was about to
about
say
music.
it's super important that
Yeah,
someone
we
from
hit
his
it off so
perspective
well. I mean,
puts out
he
content.
invited me up there to shoot content for his channel, and he and I had some very long phone calls leading into that, and that's how he ended up inviting me. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to be in Atlanta on tour."
So
That's
funny, dude.
not saying he lives in Atlanta. It's just the closest thing to him. I'm not giving up the goods on Rick, but and people would know that because Rick was at the Atlanta show, so you can put two and two together. But yeah, so oh man, it's just what a great guy, what great experience. Love that. But yeah, man, I don't know. That's like the gist of what's been going on,
Yeah.
really. Fucking music, got a record. It's coming out. Rollout's been great. Shout out to everyone who's been streaming. Spotify is fucking popping off. Um, the playthroughs have been going great on YouTube and everything like that.
Yeah, I love
Been
that you guys are
nice.
doing so many playthroughs.
There's going to be guitar, bass, and drums for every tune on the
Wow, that's
record,
cool. That's
which
awesome.
is. But what else are we going to do?
No, I mean, as like as you just said, there's so many people eating up so much content right now. So like,
and we're just doing it because these are things I've always wanted to do, but I just needed the time to do it. So,
yeah,
we got the time. We asked for the time. We got the time. So that's what's up. And fucking, I don't know. I'm gonna make some more music. I'm doing everybody's podcast. We're doing those
yeah, you
slots.
are. Yeah.
I'm doing. I'm
Um,
really excited doing the downbeat with Craig Reynolds next week, which I'm really excited for. That's going to be fucking sick. Craig's one of my favorite podcast personalities and just people in general. He's so fucking funny. I listen to his shit all the time. He's so good. So that's going to be great. And we have some other fun guitar podcasty type stuff coming up with some bigger channels that I've not interacted with before. We got some stuff coming up with Guitar World. We got things on the horizon. Next single features one of my favorite guitar players of all time.
oh, I didn't tell you
So,
either. That pickup on Josh, dude, shreds. He's crazy. That's awesome.
oh fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was a cool.
Yeah.
I've been following him on Instagram for a long while now.
Oh, yeah, Josh
And
is a fucking.
he still
legend.
feels pretty underground.
23. He's a legend, dude.
Yeah,
He's so
dude.
sick.
Yeah.
He's so fucking sick. It was so good to make that song with him and to feature him and stuff.
Yeah.
And then so the next single features literally like probably my favorite guitar player of all time. If he's not my favorite, he's definitely top 3.
What's funny
so
is I've heard everything and I don't know about anyone else, so it's gonna be funny to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll tell you who that is after. I mean, you heard the solo.
No, I don't want you to tell me.
And then sax feature, and you probably know who that was. So,
insane.
Yeah, so that's cool. And then that's it for features. Really, I wanted to keep it simple. I just only wanted to patch people in where I felt it was necessary.
Yeah.
And
well, yeah, dude, we can start wrapping this up. I have a question I always ask at the end.
Oh, sure.
I let people ask questions if they're still participating after our talk.
Okay.
And then if anything else you want to plug. Oh, I'm so stoked for the album coming out.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm eating all the content that everyone's putting out. So
well, thanks. I mean, as far as the plugs, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Intervalsmusic.net. You can go to all the streaming platforms. Everything's there. If you go to sheethappenspublishing.com and you check out all of the offerings there, you can get tab book bundles that literally give you tabs for the singles I've already released. Who's doing that for you in this quarantine? You can literally get official tabs now for the songs that are out on streaming platforms. You can go get that shit right now. Start making cover videos, learning. Of course, if you get the deluxe bundle, you get jam tracks. So the album was mixed just for you with my shit muted. So I'm out of your way and you can make your cover videos. You can play to the songs and get right in there and do all my shit.
Super
so
smart.
We've got,
super smart.
Yeah, we're doing vinyls. We got a couple variants. We did dice, so you can gamble with your.
Get out of here with your CeeLo addiction, bro.
Threes. We play threes,
okay,
but CeeLo is also acceptable. But yeah, you can play threes with your social bubble. I didn't tell you to do it with your friends or anyone you're not supposed to see right now because we're in a fucking global pandemic. So I also made you a mask. So wear that shit to a family gathering with people that you've seen recently. Everyone's tested negative, and then you can gamble for bus change. So fucking right. Do that shit. Also, some of my favorite cloth pieces that we've ever made, etc., 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 etc. sheethappenspublishing.com. And then you already know first week numbers help a boy out.
Yeah, they're super important, guys. We're
just trying to get them up.
We're so scared to release anything and not on tour because first week, you know how it goes. So it's just.
Yeah, but Spotify's banging right now, so everyone keep running it up on Spotify and all the other places. And if you like vinyls, I made you some wonderful. I made you a mint chocolate chip variant and a strawberry banana variant. So please.
They taste that. They taste like that.
I wish.
I'll bite into one tomorrow, bro.
You have to. Your tongue is the needle, and you have to. Yeah, and there's just bunch of great stuff. Also giveaways. If you literally get anything simple from the pre-order, what you already missed out on was a neural DSP plugin license of your choosing.
Whoa.
You also missed out on One Kit Wonder, Modern Fusion, and Zilla Cab Studios from GGD. And then if you pre-ordered now, tomorrow you might have a shot at the entire Intervals discography in test pressing vinyls, which I don't even own,
Yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah,
fucking crazy.
yeah. No band
That
member
gets
has
announced
that shit of
tomorrow, and then
themselves.
I'm announcing another giveaway tomorrow, and then there's 2 more to go. And they're big items. They're really big items. So you probably want to do that.
Hit them up, guys. This is gonna be sick.
Yep. Cool.
I guess real quick, it's already felt like this. We do have sponsors on the podcast.
Okay.
My Coffee
That's sick.
Shop is one.
Fuck.
Seedscoffee.com, don't you fret coupon code. And Swindler Guitar Effects is a local guitar pedal company from around here.
Oh, sick. Nice.
Don't you fret coupon code.
Nice.
Ask Aaron any questions you'd like. While you guys generate those questions, do you believe in aliens?
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing.
The thing, for sure. Are they among
Aliens
us,
are a
or are
thing.
they just out there?
No, they're not among us in like some basic ass way. Like they're among us in a fucking unbelievably intelligent way that we can't sense, but they're collecting data and information, and they've been watching for a really long time.
Ooh, God. Yeah.
But they're specifically watching right now going, fucking
idiots. They're like, maybe we'll tune out of this channel for a while.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You're blowing it. That's what they're thinking.
All right. How do you think about harmony beyond regular diatonic harmony? Or what resources did you use to expand your knowledge on harmony?
Tour with Tosin for a year.
All right. Ask Tosin. That's guess.
No, just listen, man. Just listen to the stuff that you don't quite understand. And just because you may not like it, you need to ask yourself, what about it you don't understand?
I like that. I like that wording a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of Holdsworth stuff that I still can't get my fucking pleb noggin around, but I often saddle up and go, today's the day.
Listen to all the shit that you think shouldn't be there and understand why it is, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to some. Yeah. Just listen. That would be it. Listen.
Is there an official Plentiful's album coming?
It's not official, but we're going to get this PR stuff out of the way because Plenty's rolling a record out too. So we're both kind of knee deep in that. And then we'll have the no deadline writing time to explore and collaborate. And I mean, it's going to happen. We literally just talked about it the other day. So
yeah. Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that. I was like, is this something I didn't?
Yeah, I mean, we played each other's music for a fucking entire year.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun to watch that. It was cool.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I know his shit inside out. He knows my stuff really well. Yeah. I mean, we hadn't done it in a long time, and just last summer we got together and just did a clinic with each other. It's like, we're just so familiar, and that's the homie. So fucking yeah, dude.
When you got into all this health stuff, how did you start your own research? Are there some people or some names that we should dive into? Or?
I did keto really poorly, and then I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I remember.
Fuck.
I remember that, Aaron.
Yeah, not good. Don't do that one. There's a lot of things I'm advocating that you do. Don't do that one.
Yeah.
Unless you have epilepsy. Or a reason to actually fucking do it, don't do it. So then I started to figure it out. YouTube is good, but it's scary. So honestly, it was more real life influences like my naturopath and people here in the city and professionals. Seek the help of a professional, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and that's something too that could probably be taken to just like, don't get everything from your internet, No,
man.
People do train for all their lives for specific things.
Yeah, naturopathy is, holistic nutrition and naturopathy are not, you don't just get into this stuff. I had a really poor experience with a very extreme diet and lifestyle, and I did not stick the landing when I decided to transition out, and it hurt me really, really bad. And then I needed to learn how to be a better version of myself, and that was the catalyst for me trying to figure out the very things I should have just done to get healthy and achieve the goals I wanted to.
That's what I want. I don't want to go through that low period before I start being healthy. Yeah.
Just Yeah, no, carbs are not the enemy, I promise.
Yeah, potatoes rule, bro.
They absolutely do.
If we're
One of
gonna
my favorite
if
foods.
we're gonna get into like genetic and evolution disposition, I'm Welsh. My ancestors were
Oh,
Welsh. I need
the,
potatoes.
yeah, and my dad's Scottish, and
Yeah.
I have so much lineage. Like, dude, I don't know what I was fucking thinking, but yeah, don't do that one.
And then are you gonna be on Twitch anytime soon? Are you gonna start streaming or you got the rig now,
First of
dude?
all,
I'm looking at it. You finally sound great.
yeah, that was a struggle. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
still really torn about the streaming thing. Like maybe, but I'm down to do things every once in a while. Like we were talking about, maybe just streaming on YouTube is a good place to at least just start and not have to like have this militantly like religious schedule and stuff. Um, the Twitch thing, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that one. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, dude, this has been awesome. I loved having you. I knew you would be a good guest.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
Yeah.
I was excited when you asked me. I'm a fan of the tunes, fan of the podcast, fan of the person. So you know what I mean. It's a no brainer. Good to hang with the homie.
Yeah,
So
man.
fucking right, dude. It's a long one. If anyone actually sat through this whole thing, well then, holy shit.
People do.
A,
You'd be
a tip of the
surprised.
hat to you.
Yeah. I mean, I think mine with Robbie went just a little shorter than this.
Whew.
Yeah.
The homie.
Yeah,
Cool.
boy.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go stretch these legs, go for a walk. Maybe a little jazz cabbage exploration type scenario. Call the girlfriend.
It was nice having you on, dude. Well,
dude, thanks,
yeah.
man. Appreciate
We'll keep in touch. You have my Discord now. That's an easy way.
Discord's great, and we'll do it that way. And then I'll, if you want to know or need things or whatever, let me know. I'll give you an address for coffee.
Yeah, dude. Hit me up with that. All right, Aaron.
Fucking right.
See you, man.
All right, buddy. Thanks, man. I'll see you soon.
See you, dude.